Waiting for my camera. There we are. Got to make sure everything is looking good. Sorry for the long wait, everybody. Let us know if everything sounds good.
Yeah. Hopefully they hear us at all.
I mean, I feel like they're going to hear us. So I guess we'll see. I'm just kind of seeing up here in this new interface when it's actually live, so I can see now that they're seeing us.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I just now saw it too. So I guess that when you choose the normal delay, I guess it is kind of long, but it is supposedly the best bit rate. They still can't hear us? No.
People are saying it sounds good.
Okay, that person was joking.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why the game audio doesn't go through using the like direct input on my capture cards. So I guess I'm just gonna have to mess around with the settings a bit more another time. But I have a workaround where I just send the audio into the mixer, which is the tried and true method. Hopefully the audio is not.
I think it works better like mixing in OBS because it just seems they're more likely to hear it, except in this case.
Yeah, I mean, I have always had problems with it. I don't know why it keeps on happening like this.
I saw Richard Morgan saying try with the haircut, and I have not gotten a haircut since like January. But this is just me taking my razor when I'm shaving and just trimming it back a little here and there. I gotta be honest, I feel like I'm not as bad at it as I thought I might be.
I am oversaturated. I can fix that a little bit, but I mean, I don't think I'm gonna mess with it too much. I can take the contrast and make me less contrasty. Maybe I might not be able to do it though when it's actually. Oh, I can make myself really. I can take the saturation way down. So I can match your color a little bit. Let's try that. See if that works. I'm no longer orange.
Oh, you're still orange on my screen. I didn't realize that normal delay was so big. Maybe we should try the middle option.
Well, it's fine. I'm not gonna mess with it now. I ain't gonna mess with it now. Maybe next time. But yeah, I mean, I'm normally that orange, but I think that maybe I look a little bit better now. So how's it going?
Eating fuzz, Sandy.
Eating fuzz.
Why would you be eating fuzz?
I don't know why. Like yours, it's looks like you just have some really cold lights on you, very brightly, which would be normal. I mean, which would be the setup.
Yeah, well, I turned the lights up a bit because I noticed my frame rate was looking low. So
right.
I'm also trying something different because I normally launch this Logitech software and use that as a virtual webcam, but it does this weird thing where it just like blows out my microphone, even though my microphone that I use for the stream is not in any way associated with that program. For some reason, it just sets my levels to 100 for my microphone.
Yeah, and it happens every
time I open that software, and it's so annoying.
Yeah, I don't know why it does that. I mean, I just use the camera settings app, but even that resets itself. That resets itself too. I don't know why. It always goes back to like autofocus and all this other stuff. So you've been playing a lot of Mario these last couple of days.
Well, I guess. I mean, I beat Mario 64 on 3D All Stars. I mean, that's nothing new. I did not play a lot of Sunshine or Galaxy, just enough to get a sense of them. But yeah, I mean, I've gathered a ton of materials. You're editing the majority of the video, but I'm editing the 3D All Stars segment of it.
Right. That'll be out at some point this week. Not sure on the exact day. We wanted to have it out today, but that's just not going to happen because yesterday was my wife's birthday, and we were out and about like all day. And Friday night, we were just like doing stuff around the house. It was just not gonna happen. We went kayaking. Did a 6-mile kayak tour yesterday.
That's fun.
It was super fun. What is really stupid is that my legs, like the top half of my legs, are sunburned. not the bottom half.
Well, that sounds about right, I guess. I guess you were wearing the wrong pants for it.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of cold, so I wore actual pants and then just like rolled them up when it got too hot.
Yeah, it's surprisingly cold here lately too. In the evenings, it's been cold.
Yeah. But we ended up falling asleep at by like 10 o'clock last night because of it. Ooh. Yeah.
Got $5 from Chris. Thank you. Saying, "What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm doing great. Just got 3D All Stars running in 4K. Sunshine looks great. Jokiness dolphin, but still looks nice." I heard someone told me that the version of Sunshine that is in 3D All Stars was already extracted and out there.
Really? Well, that doesn't surprise me.
And Ryan and Dolphin, which I guess is nice because I don't know if anyone had made a version before where like the HUD actually looked nice.
Mm-hmm.
Dolphin, but this one is like pre-made for widescreen, nice HUD. So that sounds interesting. But it looks pretty nice from what I saw. The heat haze, I've seen some people comment about the heat haze in Sunshine. I mean, that effect worked really well at 480p. At a higher resolution, I guess maybe the effect doesn't look quite the same as it does at a low resolution. Maybe looks a little overly strong, perhaps, but
I thought it looked pretty good. I mean, I've only played it like a little bit. I thought it looked pretty decent just at a glance, like the first couple levels that I played.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like the 30 frames per second was that noticeable in handheld, but it's very noticeable in docked mode.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother me though. I mean, that's what the game's always been. I mean, I know that this is like, I don't like using the term lazy because, game developers are not lazy. They just have budget and circumstances that they can't work around. And I think that they did a pretty good job given what was clear that they didn't have a lot to work with, from higher up at Nintendo.
Which is silly because it seems like they should have a lot of time and budget to be able to do exactly what they wanted to do. To do
it really. But the thing is, and I'm not going to spoil it too much because I want you to watch the video. But I am happy with how 64 works on 3D All Stars. It is the first version since
official version
playing the game on a real N64. It's the first time that I feel like it works well enough that I would say that it is a suitable replacement for original hardware. I do not think the previous Virtual Console versions, or certainly not the DS version, are suitable replacements for playing it on a real N64 because the controls do not work well on Virtual
This
Console.
dude is like following me. I can't shoot him off screen, but he can shoot me from off screen.
There was also $2 from Warren Hokie saying Doggo equals donations. Simple as that. Well, Sandy, come on back up here. Thank you. And there was also Joseph Gundel, who was a new YouTube member. who also donated $10.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you on both counts, saying thanks for doing what you're doing. Oh, we're right now we're streaming, but we're also making videos. So we'll have that Mario one out this week, and then after that, sometime will be the EverDrive updates.
Yeah, that'll be soon after
Frontiers Part 3.
I'm not going to deny that I've had a little bit of a hard time getting back into a groove since taking the trip down to Florida, but I think it's going to be okay. I just need to push through it. That's not a very good looking picture of Batman at the end of the level there.
I'll have to wait a bit to see it, I guess.
There was also $5 from Chris saying running the game in DOL with
Dolphin?
Oh yeah, well I mean it's the .do. Oh yeah, and Dolphin I guess with EFB scaling turned off, which gives a heat haze, a depth of field effect, which looks cool, but I prefer the cleaner look with scaled EFB.
I don't know what EFB stands for particularly.
Yeah. So this game has unlimited passwords and unlimited continues, and it looks like you start on the same level that you died. You continue on the same level that you.
Yeah. I mean, it's very beatable.
But it took you weren't able to do it in one stream when you played it, right?
I think I was able to do it in one stream. I think it was just one stream. I mean, it was a backlog restream, so a little longer, but
yeah,
I think it's pretty doable. But yeah, I've never seen, and I don't know if this is a game that people commonly emulate in Dolphin, because for one, it might be a control issue, or two, maybe people just don't like it that much. But I can't recall seeing a lot of people posting screenshots of like, oh, here's what Skyward Sword looks like in Dolphin, because that's a game I've been very curious. What would that game's background effect look like? In a remaster, because it kind of has this almost like painting sort of effect, like sort of the background looks like it's sort of it's not really depth of field, but it looks like where it would be depth of field is kind of like paint splotches, and it looks really cool. But I don't know how it would translate to higher resolution. So I wonder if it's a similar situation with the heat haze and Mario Sunshine.
Is there like a particular weapon that is considered the best in this?
Oh, I really don't remember. I don't remember if, I guess you just gotta see what you like.
Yeah.
Gaming Blows is also a new member on YouTube.
Oh. Welcome.
Their new member.
So what are your thoughts on Galaxy? I've only tried Galaxy a little bit, but I was personally most excited about that because it's definitely my favorite out of the three. And I kind of credit Mario Galaxy is getting me like back into games pretty heavily.
Right.
And it was the first game that, and I was going into it when I first played it as someone who didn't really play Mario 64 and also didn't like Mario Sunshine.
Right, that's so interesting that like you took to it like that. You know?
And I mean I did everything. At least I did all the stars with Mario. I didn't do it all again. I unlocked Luigi. I didn't do everything with Luigi. I was really interested to see how this was going to turn out because I was excited the fact that it uses a regular controller, and I can say that I do like how it plays with the Pro Controller. I wish that you could make the pointer disappear, which clearly is something that is possible because it disappears. It's disappeared at the beginning of after a cutscene and when the gameplay starts.
So I did not when I at first was going to try using the Pro Controller, but like when you make your file, you can kind of see how the cursor works.
Yeah,
and I felt like it was difficult to using the Pro Controller. It was difficult to vertical range was not a problem, but like horizontal range, it felt like I had to like exaggerate my turn to move all the way to the sides of the screen. So I immediately switched to, the separate Joy-Con configuration.
And is that exactly the same?
It works just like a Wii remote. I thought it works surprisingly well. Obviously tracking technology is a lot better than it was back then. I mean, it's very similar to like my LG TV remote.
Right.
You've got the same remote, I think, where like it tracks like a cursor on screen without the need for like a sensor bar, right? And it works really well. And the pointer in Galaxy using just the separate Joy-Cons works pretty well, I thought. But I only played like up to where you get, you do that sort of tutorial level, and then you get to the observatory.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to play because I needed to get back to working on 64 stuff. There was a $2 donation from Warren Hookie saying Super Mario 64 DS isn't that bad. It was portable in 2004. And absolutely. And, we tried to be nice to it in the video because, like, I realize that there's like a whole lot of people who are, a whole lot younger than me, but are adults now. Because
they grew up with it, I guess.
They grew up with it. I mean, I was in college.
They specifically love Mario 64 because of that version.
Maybe so. I mean, when you're a kid, you can get used to a lot. I mean, and I got a DS with Super Mario 64 DS on launch day. I can't remember if I got another launch game. I kind of don't think I did. And I got all 150 stars in it because, like, at that time in my life, it was like unfathomable that I would like not do 100% in a Mario game. Like, I mean, I had to. Like, I didn't have a choice. I remember using both control methods a lot, actually. The thumb strap stylus and the D-pad. And neither is great. I mean, and I feel like the fact that the DS kind of didn't get a lot of games like that as time went on. It focused much more on unique experiences that were very tailored to its touchscreen and dual screen interface and D-pad controls. Super Mario 64 is a game that is from the ground up designed to sell you on this idea of moving a game character with an analog stick. Put that on DS, it's just not going to work all that well. I mean, the core game design is still very much the same, and really they should have just made a new 3D game, in my opinion. But I'm sure a lot of people freaking love that version and consider it like the director's cut or whatever, But it's, yeah. We try to be nice to it in the video. There was $10 from Adam Jenkins.
Oh, thank you.
Saying, are there any Saturn HDMI mods on the horizon that I'm not aware of or on the horizon? Rad 2X seems to be well out of stock, and Saturn's the only Sega console left I don't have HDMI for.
Yeah, it's tough.
I would not recommend getting like the Pound or Level Hike HDMI cables. We were sent unsolicited some of the Level Hike ones, which they're all the same thing. And like it looks kind of good when the screen is totally still, but like once you go into motion, like everything becomes like soft and blurry because of how it's trying to do deinterlacing. So I do not recommend those.
Yeah. But just in terms of something like a
DC digital style mod.
I'm pretty sure that Dan Kuhn said that it's the way that the system is set up, there's no way to easily do it. that he
Right.
knows of.
It has
So
something to do with like the dual VDP
yeah,
situation on it. And I want to say he said Genesis is a similar situation where it's like you would basically have to come up with a complete replacement for one of the VDP chips.
yeah.
So it would be like a partially emulated video output situation. Which, to be fair, I mean, I think technically high def NES and maybe even RGB mods for NES, I'm not sure, might even to some extent be that. Or like, I think is partially
I'm like
running
terrified.
over
Finally,
some.
whew. It's just like a game of attrition. Like you just
Yeah, the difficulty spikes in this level a bit. I remember that. But yeah, Saturn to OSSC is gorgeous. The only problem is that a lot of Saturn games do have those resolution switches, and sometimes not even resolution switches. There's some sort of just like signal hitch, like Die Hard Arcade. Unfortunately,
oh yeah,
is
Die Hard
an example
Arcade,
where
it like drops signal between every single scene, so it becomes almost impossible to play it with one. This is tough. It's just you gotta like inch forward.
yeah, it does seem like a bit much using it just for the Saturn.
The OSSC, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree.
I can't get this guy. Yeah, I would just go Rad 2X because that's the easiest way to do it. It's the best bet.
Oh, there's $5 from Blake Romo. Thank you. Saying you guys did the Game Boy Modern Screens video. Oops. Scrolled up. You guys did the Game Boy Modern Screens video. Made my day. Issues aside, what are your thoughts on these screens as replacements for broken units? Oh, I mean, if it's a completely, if the system board works, but it's the screen is useless. I mean, absolutely. I mean, why not? But I found myself disappointed, but a lot of people say, well, no matter what, it's better than the original screen. And in a lot of ways, this is true. But like, I guess my perspective was like, if you're asking me to replace the original screen, like it needs to be like 95% there rather than, 80% there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how to explain it, but at the end of the day,
do we know what do you know what the B meter is?
Is that not your life?
No, I think L is life. Is that my Batman meter? Oh man, nothing like some big bugs here.
Is it weapon energy? Do you have like limited weapon energy?
I don't think so, and there's no way to change weapons or anything, is there?
I
must
think
be
you
one
just
hit.
pick up what you pick up, but I can't quite remember.
It's the Batman meter. That's what Paul Bergkamp is saying.
I mean, you're always full Batman, so.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, you just gotta like plow through some of these hits. See, I just did that. Oh, I became Super Batman now. I'm Golden Batman.
Golden Batman? What?
Yeah, I became Golden Batman. Oh, that's part of the same level, huh?
What do you mean you became Golden Batman?
Yeah, I Super Batman.
You look the same to me.
Just give it a second. It might not have happened yet.
Oh, man. Okay, that normal really does have a delay, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Next week we'll try the middle option.
That was done for right there. Oh, there's no second level boss, was there?
I guess not. Yeah, I mean, Gaming Blows, my stream should be as far behind as your stream. It's just that I'm talking to Coury in real time.
How do I avoid that? Jeez.
Mark Granger says, I hate being in a cave in the ceiling doing this. I know, it's the worst. This like robot battle RPG meter is so funny to me.
Oh, see, it sends me all the way back here. So there's a bit more to it than. So I gotta beat the boss. I don't continue at the boss, I guess. At least you get full health at the beginning of the boss fight.
Yeah, that is nice. But like at least it's 3-2 and not 3-1, right?
Yes.
We shot a bunch of interviews with old EGM editors a while back, and it will become something eventually.
Yes, I worked on it a bit during the trip to my mom's, and that is it's gonna happen.
It's still very early, I assume.
Yeah, but I'm just excited about it in general.
Blake Romo donated $2. Thank you. Saying Ben Vin will soon have drop-in DMGs and pockets. I was hearing some stuff about some of the new Ben Vin stuff. I think it's going to require possibly no cuts, if I remember.
Garnett Lee was not among them. It was only people that worked for EGM during the Sendai years. Which, admittedly, that is the time period that I am most interested in, because that is when I read it. I kind of stopped, like the changeover to Ziff Davis was pretty much like just as I was finishing with high school, and I lost a lot of interest at that point. God, jeez.
Mike Sherry donated $5. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
To paraphrase Deadpool, Nicholson or Hamill? These timelines are confusing. I've never seen Deadpool. I don't know if that's from one of the movies or a comic or a game.
Oh, it's a comic. It's a comic book movie. But the whole thing.
Oh, I mean, I know what it is, but I have not partaken of any of the Deadpool media.
You know, they're both on the Vudu. I think the second one is hilarious, and I bet you that is something that you would probably get a good kick out of.
Yeah, I mean, I should get around to them sometime.
It is the second. I was not expecting the second.
Lack of interest. I just haven't watched them.
The second one is much better than I thought it was expecting it to be.
But yeah, you know, when The Dark Knight came out, you know, I just thought that the Heath Ledger Joker was so good. But then when Arkham Asylum came out, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's the best, you know. Mark Hamill is so good at that. So good.
Here we go. Let's see. There's got to be a way I can...
That's good to know, Lucas. He says that this video looks very good at 144p. You know, we try to make the lowest resolutions very satisfying. Jonathan G donated $2. Thank you. Saying please pick a question from regular chat to answer. You know, I don't try to avoid regular chat questions. It's just that, well, once I start going on one thing, I start going for a while, and then there's usually another donation to get to. I do see Paul Burkamp from the quote unquote regular chat. Says, Coury and Try, what are your spookums plans for October? I can say that my spookums plans for October involve, you know, I kind of want to make a tradition for as long as possible of playing a PS2 horror game in October, because I there's something about PS2. The texture of PS2 games just really works well for horror.
You really like the horror of it. Oh, the horror.
Let's see. I think, was it 3 or 4 years ago I did Silent Hill 1, and then I did Silent Hill 2, and last year I did Fatal Frame 1. So this year I think I'm going to do Silent Hill 3.
I think it's crazy that it's like almost we're halfway through September.
I know, and it's like cold outside at night anyway.
But I mean, it just feels like there was no summer or anything. It's been such a weird year. There we go.
Tech Assistant says, do you believe the PS6 will be all digital? I kind of feel like no.
Wait, what will?
Do you believe the PS6 will be all digital?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of stuff can happen in 7 years.
I guess. I like to think no, though. I mean, I feel like they will, at the very least, have to have like a Xbox 360 HD DVD drive style add-on, you know, just like for the people who really want that, you know.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that it doesn't feel like there was no summer. It just feels like it didn't happen.
I kind of know what you mean. I mean, in part because certainly I spent less time outside and at places other than inside my house this year.
Yeah.
So I was not exposed. I was like very few times this year exposed to the heat for long enough for it to become uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah. Although I gotta say, going kayaking yesterday, it was like the first major thing that we've kind of done all summer in terms of like being outdoors, and it was amazing. And it's cool because they give you the kayaks and you just go down at your own pace.
Had you ever kayaked before?
I have kayaked before, but never like down a river. I've just like kayaked in like a lake. And it was very difficult to balance in the lake, but these kayaks are really, really easy. And there was times where the river wasn't very high, so there was times where you're going over these rocks and you really you could get stuck. But just in general, it was pretty awesome, and I'd highly recommend doing something like that if you have someplace close by that does it. Just felt really good to be
And
outside.
you and your wife did separate kayaks?
Yep, you can do.
Like, there is such a thing as a 2-person kayak.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, they have 2-person ones where you both, and they also had canoes. We just did separate kayaks and just went down that way. But I mean, main reason for that is because we didn't have kids along. So when we have the kids, you know, we might do like a 2-person. Although I feel like I'll get stuck with my son and he'll not do anything.
Mm-hmm. See, we've got BJ Wandeland in the chat.
Oh.
Been a long time since Too Many Games. We haven't been there in a couple of years, I guess. Asking what are your thoughts on the RetroTink 2X Pro multi-format? It's pretty handy for sure. It does not have the smoothing filter, if that's like a crucial feature for anyone. But it does have scanline as an option. And the key thing is kind of that it supports 480p pass-through. So, the regular RetroTinks, you can't have that 480p input. But my understanding is Mike still considers the RetroTink 2X Pro the main flagship product, and that is sort of more of the alternative if 480p is really crucial in your setup. Because I don't think I ever recorded like a direct comparison of them yet. But Mike says that it is a different chip and gives somewhat different results for 240p 480i compared to the regular RetroTinks. But it still provides good results. I actually used it a little bit for some of the Mario 64 footage. And I also used the RetroTink 2X Mini. We've got an early one of those that, with the the Nintendo S-Video cable it comes with. And in a lot of ways, I kind of like it the best. It's like the cheapest one. It only has composite and S-Video. But that's kind of the main thing I want to use with the RetroTink anyway. And the design of it is really cool. I really like the shell that comes with. It's kind of the ideal, simplest thing to use, which I think is one of the appeals of the RetroTink. John Perry G donated $2, saying, "Hi guys, it's JPEG :
What?
Are we having like a debate about how JPEG is pronounced or something?"
I don't know. I've always said JPEG. I mean, I've seen instances where the extension actually is JPEG.
Yeah,
I got it.
Probably
we
been
did
a long
it.
time since I saw that.
What's that?
Probably been a long time since I've seen that though.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's his. I see. Maybe that's his initials. JPEG. John Perry G.
Oh,
Almost.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. It's a sewer level. I was not expecting
Oh boy,
this.
your favorite.
Like, sewer levels are my least favorite video game trope, I think. I never like sewer levels.
Look at that water though, that's pretty good.
It is. I mean, it's a good looking game.
Yeah, we learned from John and Audie that the Game Boy Batman Return of Joker is a completely different game, and it has a very unique water effect for Game Boy as well. I'm keeping an eye out for that now. I definitely want to get that. And we also learned, which I didn't even know there was a Genesis version, but it was made by another developer, and it looks like it's trying to be the NES game, but it's bad.
It's really bad. I mean, in some ways it's like the same game,
I mean, it is
It is.
intended to be the same game as this, but it was ported
it-
by another studio, and it's bad. It's
Yeah.
really bad. Like, it is not a suitable replacement for this game. I mean, not that this is like the best Batman game ever, but it's pretty decent. It's certainly an impressive looking game, more so than it is like a great game.
Jeez. Just
Genesis Batman is the best. It is pretty good. It is pretty good.
You beat that on stream before.
I did. You know, I gotta say I tried on the FX pack. I tried the Batman Returns, the Konami brawler. That's kind of a lot better than I thought it would be. I kind of want to get that now. My favorite thing about that is like when you grab people, if you're like, if there's like a wall right next, like in the background behind you, you like slam them into the wall in the background. It's awesome.
Yeah. I have that one. It's very good.
Gaming Blow says, I'd say the best sewer level is Turok Evolution because it is inoffensive. Worst sewer level is Final Fantasy 12. So boring. You know, when I think of sewer levels, I don't know why, but that is one of the sewer levels I think of. First and foremost is Final Fantasy 12. I wouldn't say I hated it, but it it epitomizes my personal image of what a sewer level is. I also think of like the sewers in the future of Chrono Trigger, and the sewers in Delling City in Final Fantasy VIII for some reason.
I just really don't like them. I'm sick of them. I mean, it's such a common thing, especially in RPGs.
Yeah,
I think that every RPG has a sewer level area.
Probably. Let's see. Earlier tonight I got to the final boss of Xenoblade on Switch, and there was kind of a sewer level in it, I guess. Like it was kind of more like the drainage section of like a mine, though. So it was like, I mean, mine levels aren't necessarily that.
Yeah, I mean,
there was a mine level in this game. There's probably a mine level in every RPG too.
Yes. And I mean, it loses points. A game loses points if it has sewers, and you have to like open like sluice gates and like. And they make like a puzzle out of that.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake did that.
Oh, Final Fantasy VII Remake has like... Final Fantasy VII Remake has like... What? At least 2 sewers, doesn't it? And then one of the sewers you visit twice.
Yeah. Yep. And they stretch it out.
Yeah.
What's John Perry G saying? My message and the donations aren't working properly. Is it just not showing up?
Oh, did it have something like there was a colon? Did it like screw up because it like behaved like some sort of code?
So if this is supposed to be considered like a sequel to Batman, Joker really like he upped his game from the first one.
Oh, I see.
So much so that he's just
scrolling up. Is that another? Was that a second donation, John Perry G? Oh, and the chat says, "Hi guys, it's JPEG colon parentheses for smiley face."
Oh, I see.
Also, I see just above that, Vanessaria said that both Tink Pros are getting some improvements. He posted on Twitter last night.
Oh yeah, they're getting something that's like a color space thing. It's getting like the same thing as the OSSC has, I think. It's not getting like 444. What happened? Oh, geez.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I think so. I think that's what he was posting about.
Nightmare Creatures had sewer levels, didn't it? I probably. I remember. You know, I've probably told the story before, but I worked on one of those like little, you know, one of those fan sites back in the day, and you know,
This is
I
rough.
was in my teens, and you know, reviews and previews, and the guy who ran the site, who was like basically my age, I think. You know, he actually had some connections with some publishers, but you know, we were not very high on their priority list. And I realized, like, when I was asking for good games, like I was waiting and waiting and waiting. We never got them. But I thought, well, wait, if I ask for bad games, I actually get them, and I can like write a quick review, trade them in at Funkoland, get $30, and my next good game or my next new to me SNES RPG or PS1 RPG is that much cheaper. And so I remember I got either Nightmare Creatures 1 or 2, and like, you know, at the time, like, you know, I did not think well of it, but I've always wondered, like, I wonder if those games were as bad as I thought of them. No. There was $4 from Brooks, or no, $4.99 from Brooks.
So that's like my favorite username.
Saying if most all CRT/PVMs only output 480i, what is the best use case for 480p from GameCube, Xbox, PS2? Is it for HD TVs, over analog? The humanity. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can use 480p well from those systems. You know, OSSC 2X mode for 480p looks excellent on HD TVs. It looks really, really nice. You know, the L5 PVM series does support 480p. So they look great on that. If you have a way to adapt the output for VGA, like for example, let's say you have like something like a Carby for the GameCube, that outputs 480p. You can get a lag-free HDMI to VGA converter, and you can hook that up to a VGA monitor, and it looks glorious. So there's actually a lot of potential use cases for them. I mean, you know, you've got like HD CRTs, but the thing is, since those de-interlace 480i anyway, like 480i doesn't look a lot different from 480p on those. Not that I'm saying that in their favor necessarily, but there are use cases for it, just not with like consumer CRTs, really. But there are ways to make it look certainly quite good. There was $5 from James Walter saying, loved the interview on the Retro Hour podcast. Thanks for everything you do. That was fun to do.
It was. Someone in the Discord said, "Oh, Coury was kind of quiet during it," and the reason for that mainly was because that was when I was taking care of my mom after her surgery, and I felt like kind of awkward about it. I mean, my mom's the kind of person.
Your mom still calls this your blog.
Yeah, exactly.
How's your blog doing?
Yeah, you still doing your blog?
So she doesn't quite understand.
Yeah, and it felt kind of weird talking during it.
But I mean, you know, I'll admit, once I get rambling about something, sometimes it's hard for me to.
And she doesn't even say blog; she says blog.
Blog.
Your blog.
How's your blog doing? We got £1 and 99 shillings. Is that how I say that? From Citrus 1968. Saying Galaxy on Wii U in Wii mode. Love from Wales in the UK. Well, thank you. You know, the Wii mode on Wii U is generally considered to not have like particularly good upscaling. And I think it's serviceable. You know, you will see a comparison in our Mario 64 video of Mario 64 Wii version Virtual Console running in Wii U Wii mode compared against the native Wii U version. And there's like kind of some sharpening artifacts and stuff, but like I feel like sitting a normal distance from your TV, I feel like playing Wii games on the Wii U looks fine. It's not ideal scaling, but it does not offend me. It is functional. You know, I'm going to be getting a Wii Dual soon, so that will be my primary means of playing Wii games on my HD TV. But I don't have a problem with.
Am I in trouble because I just got to this guy with, like, I don't have a very good weapon?
When you say this guy, it's the freaking Joker.
Is this the last boss?
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
But like Joker,
I mean, like I knew, like I thought it was Joker, but it didn't seem. It seems
it might
early.
be like I don't know. It might be a robot or a clone. I don't know. This game is weird. Like I am convinced this game did not start development as a Batman game. I mean, Sunsoft is known for like repurposing games mid-development. This feels more like a Predator game or something. Because like the last level is in a jungle. And like Batman is in this like giant like alien, or Joker is in this giant alien machine. Like it does not feel like Batman. But like, you know, you gotta keep in mind this is like Sunsoft is going to lose the Batman movie license. They had to use it, I think, before. They had to use it before Batman Returns, the movie, came out. And they're like, oh well, let's make another game with this license. It was probably something else. Because, I mean, Joker dies.
At the end of the first one?
He's dead at the end of the first.
Yeah, Batman, he like throws him straight off.
Huh?
He like throws him straight off.
Well, he falls off. He's dead. He falls from the cathedral.
Oh, in the movie, you mean?
Well, he dies in the game, too, doesn't
right.
he?
But in the game, he just like, Batman just like grabs him and throws him off.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. There was also £2 from Engine UK. Thank you. Saying any news on an HDMI downscaler, HDMI to RGB SCART. I'm not aware of an HDMI, but you know there is the GBS control that one of its key features is HDMI or is downscaling. You know, it only takes. Is there an HDMI version of the GBS?
No, but I mean you can get a.
Is there? I forget if there is.
There is not. I mean, you can use an adapter.
Right. So you can do like, it does like D-sub output, right?
Right.
So you could like adapt like VGA to HDMI. But the thing is, like, apparently it works well. I mean, you've got one, but you were having difficulty getting it to work with your
we'll be doing something with the all-in-one version, which is like a pre-built.
Right.
version.
You were having difficulty getting it to work with your equipment. And I feel like you need a VGA monitor to really show it off anyway. So you need to keep an eye out for one of those. But anyway, yeah, that kind of the key feature for that is like, let's say you've got one of those like PS2 like arcade compilations that should have been 240p, but it's 480i. You know, you can use the downscaler to make it look like it's running natively 240p on the PS2. But as for whether it would work, whether you could like come up with a way to make it work, like if you use like HDMI to analog converter to send the GBS control, like something from like say a PS3, like I don't know if that would work. It would really depend on like how it's scaled and if like the scan lines line up correctly. But that would be an interesting thing to try, like 480p 480p output from a PS3, you know, to a HDMI to does it have VGA input? I forget. The GBS? Does it take VGA in? I think it does. Or maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, or you could do 480p component in maybe. But no one, I don't think, is making like a dedicated box for that right now, to my knowledge. But that would be cool.
This is
like there are probably ways to make something like that kind of work with the GBS. There's some conversions possibly. There was also $5 from Matt Lincoln. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying, took my retro USB AVS to a party last night, put in Mike Tyson's Punch Out. It was a hit. Love your guys' content. Keep up the good work. You know, I think that's one of the best uses of systems like that, because you know, that and you know, even the little emulation systems like the Genesis Mini and stuff, like or you know, the analog FPGAs. I mean, I love that they're powered by USB, and they're so portable and so easy to take to that kind of environment to kind of just like have something for people to do in the background. You know, I mean, that I almost brought my Mister Thanksgiving last year, but decided just to keep it simple and bring the Genesis Mini, and that was a hit too. I mean, I think things like that, you know, just these devices like the AVS and the other FPGA systems, and even the software emulation, they're a very good way to make it easy and approachable for some to introduce someone to retro games. And you know, and you can just plug into any modern TV so easily with just like the USB port on it. So that's awesome. And there was also $5 from Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying, I mentioned this on the Discord, but I think 64 Wii VC on Wii U looks better than the Wii U VC version. I don't quite agree. Because of the sharpening artifacts, the Wii U version does look a little cleaner, and also the Wii U version emulates the vanish cap effect correctly, and the Wii version does not. And also, like, there are all of the HD versions have some geometry seams, you know, including 3D All-Stars that are visible in a way that you can't really see or can't easily see on an N64. And for whatever reason, the geometry seams are not as visible on the Wii U version or the Switch version as they are on the original Wii. But yeah, I mean, I could see that point of view too, if only because, you know, it's easier to hook up the Wii. I mean, I don't know how the Wii U version would look if you set like your Wii U system to 480p. I don't know if you hook that up to like a CRT, if it would output at 4.3. I don't know.
That's so good.
Possibly, but it's certainly, you know, I think in general it makes more sense to use the Wii version on a CRT. So the Wii version, I definitely see as being more versatile than the Wii U version. I mean, it sounds like I'm pumping up the Wii U version, but the Wii U version has the worst input lag by a mile. So that is my least recommended version, actually. I don't particularly recommend the Wii VC version because the analog sticks do not work particularly well on it. But the input lag situation is great on it. If you're playing it on a CRT, I couldn't get any results in my lag tests that suggested it was tangibly higher than original hardware. I mean, since it is doing software emulation, there technically kind of has to be something there, but it could, that any delay could not be captured within a 60th of a second on my camera. So it's pretty impressive.
This is rough. It wouldn't be so bad.
Which version has better input lag, like a lot better input lag than Wii U? It's very, very comparable to like Ultra HDMI, actually. So in terms of the input lag, which is basically nothing. So it's very good. At least by my findings. The best I can test, my findings was that the input lag on Switch is very, very good. And there was also 1999 from
Holy crap.
BT. I don't know if that's a beached thing, but and there's no message, which sounds like something a beached thing would be to leave no message. But regardless of whether you are a beached thing or just some guy called or gal called BT, that is very appreciated. Thank you so much.
This is it.
And I believe I am finally caught up. Oh, you've got almost 700 people watching you play Batman Return of Joker.
Really? Well, I'm seeing how annoying this version of the Joker is.
I don't remember the final boss being particularly hard.
I mean,
it might have been because I remember like what the room looked like pretty clearly. So I don't know, maybe that indicates that I had to retry it a lot.
But there's a whole other level, right? Or two more?
I mean, at least. I mean, once you get to the jungle, like you're pretty close to the end. I mean, I guess this looks like it could be a jungle. It almost looks like behind the trees there's like a castle or something.
Yeah.
Like I swear this game was definitely repurposed from something.
Okay.
What systems does the Wii U emulate? Quite a few. And the funniest thing is that like all of these TurboGrafx games came to it, and I think they were all after the Switch launched, which is weird. I've never tried one. I mean, I don't think Wii U doesn't have Genesis though, does it? Which is really weird. But it's got NES, which does not look good. SNES, which does look good. N64, which looks very similar to Wii. It's still only 480p and it's dark. But it has GBA and DS, which is very cool.
Yeah. And like they both look really good on there, I think.
Huh?
They both look really good on there.
They do. I mean, DS I guess has some compromises due to the second screen. I mean, you can view it full screen, the top screen full screen, and then the bottom screen full screen on the gamepad. The only thing is that it's not integer scaling when you do that. But it's not bad. I saw Michael 8 earlier asked, what's your favorite thing to get at Bojangles? My go-to, and by go-to I mean like probably 90% of the time is the Chicken Supremes combo.
Like plural? Chickens Supreme?
No, Chicken Supreme.
Oh,
Chicken Supreme sounds good too, though. Those are their spicy chicken tenders. With their fries with the Cajun seasoning and a biscuit. This is good. There was also $5. Thank you from EB Chill 2. Saying your great content has given me a huge retroactive backlog. It's kind of nice to not stress out on pre-orders or getting next gen on day one. Take care.
Well, that was. We haven't really talked about that, I guess, about the pre-order situation this week.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I mean, to get more to his comment first, though. I remember. I was on vacation. Like, I don't remember how long it was. Like, if it was like 2 weeks or like a month, something like that, between Microsoft's Xbox One reveal and E3 that year. And like, obviously Xbox One, they salvaged it as best they could. I think they turned it, they turned it around. They backpedaled before it even released, and I think the later models of the system, turned out much better without the Kinect and all that stuff. But their original messaging was so bad, and it had to be connected online, and you couldn't loan or trade in games. It was a mess, and everyone thought Sony has no incentive to not do the exact same thing they're doing. And then Sony makes, this little video of, this little, cell phone video probably at E3 of, Shu Yoshida and that other guy, saying, here's how you trade a PS4 game. Thanks. And like that right there won them the generation. Even though by the time the system's launched, you could do the same thing on Xbox One. Like that right there, it was over.
Yeah.
But during that time when it was like, oh, Sony has no incentive to not do the exact same thing. I was like, I was just like really upset about it. And I was just like, man, like I don't know if I can like be into this next generation of systems if like that's what happens.
Right.
And I made like, after pondering about it for a while, I just remember having this sudden moment of clarity where I was like, you know what? With like all the systems that already exist, like if video games ever went into a direction that I just like can't follow, like I've got more than enough that already exists.
Yeah.
That I'll never finish in my lifetime. I mean, there's just so much to enjoy with what already exists. But that said, I do still get excited about future hardware, as long as it continues to be something that I want. And yeah, the PS4 pre-orders, that was quite a right mess. I did get an order in at Amazon though.
I thought you were able to do it from Best Buy.
I tried to do it for Best Buy for like an hour.
Yeah.
It was just completely broken. I would prefer Best Buy over Amazon because I'd prefer to just do store pickup. And I'm kind of nervous, like, oh, what if Amazon just like ships it in the box? Like slaps a shipping label on the box.
I don't think they would do that with something like this.
Huh?
I don't think they would do something like that with this.
I don't think they would, just because it's such a high value item,
Mm-hmm.
It'd be stolen really easily.
Right.
But like it would annoy me so bad if like they just ship it that way and like my box is ruined. I keep my hardware boxes.
Yeah. And I give you all mine.
Yeah. But yeah, I did get I'd been saying like before this year, I was thinking, yeah, I'm just gonna get both systems at launch. And then like as this year like went on, I was like, whew, that's a lot of money. Even though like it was before they were announced, like I knew it was going to be a lot of money. But and like I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get one of them. I don't know which one, but I'm going to get one of them this year and one of them next year. But then like after the PS5 showcase, like, and after I got the PS5 pre-ordered, I'm like, I still kind of want to pre-order the Xbox. And so I kind of decided like the last freelance work invoice that I submitted, you know, basically would cover both systems. So I'm like, well, there you go. That's fitting. I should just do it. I should get it over with, because like my point of view is, you know, I know a lot of people say, and this is a totally valid viewpoint, but a lot of people say like, oh, you should wait for the first price drop or whatever. But the thing is, like, I feel like I'm unlikely to wait until the first price drop. And I feel like my money goes further if I own the system for longer, because I've gotten to use it sooner. You know what I mean? So like, if I spend $500, you know, next November, I'm that much closer to the first price drop and missed out that much time to use the system. So even though there's like not a lot of anything really exciting about these launches, like at all, other than the fact that like to me launches are just fun. It's fun to get new hardware. I'm just gonna bite the bullet and do it. Like, no, it is not a smart financial choice, but I can just barely swing it, so I'm going to do it.
I might pre-order one.
I'll do like launch day streams, you know?
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
I'll
make it worth it. I'll use them in videos, you know? It'll be worth it. I mean, I feel obligated because of the show. Like, I wouldn't necessarily feel this need to be like on the cutting edge if it weren't for doing YouTube, I guess. But like, I kind of feel like, you know, especially like I'm really interested in the Series X backwards compatibility, you know? So I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play around with. And I pre-ordered Demon Souls.
Looks like there's some donations if you want to.
I think there was just one. There was $5 from For the Love of the Game. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying new graphics don't impress me, but whenever I see a PS1 game where the shadow isn't a black circle but a simple model, it blows my mind. You know, and that's, I mean, new graphics do impress me, but I absolutely understand what you're saying. I mean, when something is impressive for the hardware that it is made for, like this game for NES, like that impresses me. Like, it's like, oh, you don't see things normally done at this level on this system. That is impressive. And that blows me away. You know, new graphics can impress me too. But a game that was impressive looking for its time, you know, oftentimes always looks impressive. Although I'm not sure how like the first HD generation really held up necessarily. You know, that's one of the reasons I like the Xbox backwards compatibility so much, because it can have, you know, those enhancements. But, you know, especially for sprite-based stuff and, you know, early 3D stuff, because something that I believe is that, like, especially when you're talking like N64, Saturn, PS1, like HD of those games is not always to your benefit. Like the original 240p resolution is oftentimes a more cohesive presentation, because, you know, your HUD and stuff is designed for 240p. So when you upscale that, it often looks bad. Or, you know, in the case of like Mario 64, a lot of people in our Discord were having a laugh over like just noticing that Mario has a low level of detail model when you see him at a distance. You like can almost barely see it on 64, but it's very obvious at 720p. So.
I'm kind of starting to get a feel for this.
There was also $1 from Stephen Artman with no comment. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
I saw someone earlier say, get a GTX 3080.
And that's something I've thought about.
PC gaming. You're thinking about getting one like mostly to help with like editing, right?
Yeah, I'm more curious if that's how it's going to change my workflow editing. Yeah.
I mean, like, I have no problem with PC gaming whatsoever, of course, but like, just the physical copies of that you can get on consoles, plus the just sort of simple predictability of how the game will run on a specific hardware. That's just what appeals to me with consoles. People might think that I'm a tinkerer, because I do all this stuff for like the picture quality. But like graphics and graphics features
getting close
are
there.
A completely different thing than picture quality to me. Like I want to optimize my picture quality, but like the other performance metrics, in terms of how the console runs, like I'd rather that just be what it is. That's just me. There was $2 from Jonathan Henson. Thank you, saying these late launch NES graphics still impress me. And absolutely. There was also, with no comment, from Cetrus 1986, 79 shillings. Am I saying that right? Is that what you call cents?
They're saying pence. Someone said pence.
Pence?
Really. Yeah.
Is shillings not a thing anymore? Was that did shillings used to be a thing in England? I don't know. Shillings were in like Robin Hood, right? That's why I assume Britain still uses shillings in some capacity. I like to pretend that they do. I think before the euro, the currency in Austria was an Austrian shilling. But 79 pence. Pence like cents. Scepter Sever says it's silver. Okay, can we just start calling money gold like in RPGs?
Gil.
Yeah.
You had a big conversation with Game Dave about
Oh yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I was dying in his intro to you. He's like, he knows so much about Final Fantasy 14 that it might be irritating.
My favorite part was when I say, but my big question is, are there going to be Moogles? He has like a little Moogle pop up in the corner.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me drop the link in the chat here. Dave, on the day of the PS5 showcase and that Final Fantasy 14 reveal trailer, he said, "Hey, you want to do like kind of a reaction and analysis video with me on the Final Fantasy 16 trailer?" And I said, "Sure." But he said, because it's made by the division that makes Final Fantasy 14,
right?
And so a lot of people don't necessarily have like the perspective on that to like understand like where is this coming from, because I can understand like the perspective if you haven't seen Final Fantasy 14, like your knee-jerk reaction might be like, oh, this looks kind of generic or something like that. And I am excited because I feel like even though a lot of people miss it because of the MMO nature, which I get, Final Fantasy 14 is like the best thing Final Fantasy has had going on since like the PS1, to be completely honest. Well, Final Fantasy 12 is up there for me as well, but 14 has a lot going for it. And honestly, I think a lot of people who think they couldn't play it really could, because the time commitment to beat each expansion really is probably only about like what it would take to beat a normal RPG. And the free demo for the game now goes through level 60 and goes through Heaven's Word, which is the first expansion. And I've said before, the best Final Fantasy story since the PS1 days. Now, I haven't played Shadowbringers yet, which is apparently even better. But like, my point is like, when like the Final Fantasy 14 story certainly has many middling points, but when it's good, it's good. So having this team in charge of the next numbered Final Fantasy is very exciting to me, and I'm sure it will look a lot better by the time it releases than it looked in that trailer. It certainly did not have any impressive rendering techniques on display, but wow, you're tearing them up this time. You've like really figured it out.
Oh, dang.
Oh, did you beat him?
Yeah.
You still got ways to go on my screen. But anyway, oh yeah, summoners in 14, from a lore perspective, that's kind of one of my least favorite parts of 14. Like, I don't think the justification of what a summoner does really makes a lot of sense to me in 14. Yeah, this is the last level. But anyway, here, let me drop the link to that discussion if y'all want to check that out. I thought it turned out pretty well. Pretty good little discussion on Final Fantasy 16 with good old Dave.
Yeah.
My other favorite part was when Dave was like saying how he was happy to see Phoenix kind of take a lead role, and he's like, we're not going to see Doom Train.
Yeah.
Get a lead role in a Final Fantasy someday.
You never know.
I guess you never know.
Probably not in our lifetime.
Doom Train.
Nothing hurts more in this game than bubbles.
Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy 16's trailer almost looks like it could have been like
it could
like
it feels
a graphical update for 14.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it looks like it could have been anything.
I mean, no, it doesn't. It doesn't, because it looks like Final Fantasy 11 and 14. It does. Like to you, I could see that, but no, it looks like Final Fantasy. And I feel like because they showed like just this like small, medieval village is about all they showed in it. Like,
I think that's the most exciting thing about it, is that it's just like straight up medieval.
Right, but like I think a lot of people might also look at that and think like, oh, like there's nothing visually interesting about like this location. And I feel quite convinced that they will have some very beautiful locations in that world.
Yes.
Because 11 and 14 can have absolutely gorgeous environments. I mean, the areas right immediately outside like the starter cities might look pretty plain, but they can be very beautiful as well. So I mean, I urge people to be optimistic, because the people making this game know what they're doing. And you know, even if it doesn't end up being like the most visually impressive game ever, like, you know, Final Fantasy like hasn't always really been all that cutting edge anyway. I mean, I guess it kind of was a little bit in the PS1 days.
It is going to be
But
interesting.
like
to
you
see
look at
when it
like
comes
Final
out.
Fantasy X, and it was very good looking, but like Metal Gear Solid 2 came out around the same time and like immediately blew it away from like a cinematic presentation standpoint. You know?
Yeah. It's going to be, I'm interested to see when it comes out because it doesn't seem like it's...
I don't think it's that. I feel like it's not necessarily, I feel like it's probably only just beginning to enter like full on development.
Right, but even still, I think it's going to be interesting because if it's not going to be as crazy as the other ones, then I think that might be a good... It might be easy for them, like, you know, it might release faster.
Maybe. I mean, Naoki Yoshida said that it actually started off with an unusually small team. So I mean, that could explain some of the graphics as well. And it looks like they haven't even had time to try running it on a PS5 dev kit yet. So I mean, I think they're pretty early. But I think it'll probably be like 2022. But like Yoshida is a guy who knows how to get stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he built a new game out of Final Fantasy 14 in a year and a half while updating and continuing to run and improve the failed version of Final Fantasy 14. So, I mean, he knows how to make something good with under extraordinary and limiting circumstances. So, I see that EB Chill 2 donated $5 again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Saying, I bought a sealed copy of Final Fantasy 14 for my PS3 collection. It came a day early. Is this the Atari ET of the 21st century? That would definitely be a pretty useless.
This level is real stupid.
That would be that would be definitely a pretty useless thing. I mean, I mean, it wasn't sealed, but I also got a copy of the PS3 version of 14 just for my shelf. You know, I started off playing the PC version of 14 just because I knew the PS3 version wasn't going to run that well. And then I switched to the PS4 version when that came out. I mean, the PS4 version basically runs about as well as my computer at that time could run it. And sure, I could technically play it even better than PS4 on my computer now, but you know, I like playing video games on consoles and I like doing work on PC. What are you going to do about it? It's just how I am. I like my game boxes to be dedicated boxes for doing that one thing. Jonathan G donated $2 saying, do you think Final Fantasy 16 might have online multiplayer? I thought about that. I wouldn't be surprised if it has like some sort of online mode or maybe like a certain like subset of quests. Like maybe there would be like some sort of like Hunter's Guild or something where maybe like those quests are like relegated to like online multiplayer or something like that, or maybe it could even be more implemented than that. I think it's going to be a create your own character game. You know, possibly even with a choice to play a male or female character, because the character that they're showing in that has the exact same facial structure as like the generic dude that they use on like all the Final Fantasy 14 and 11 and 14, like have this same looking generic dude. that they use on all of like their box arts and the opening FMVs and stuff.
So will it be a silent protagonist then, you think?
I think he'll be more of like a Commander Shepard sort of thing. Is kind of that's my gut feeling. Because like in the end of the trailer, he says, "I'll kill you if it's the last thing I do." I don't know for sure if that's the main character saying that, but they have his face on screen when that voice clip is playing. I think he's going to talk, but I think it'll be like a Commander Shepard-esque thing where your character has a voice, but you have a lot of control over them. Because I don't think they would use that same dude's face if they were not going to let you make your character.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be really cool because you haven't been able to do that in Final Fantasy since
what if it is just like the generic dude? Like that's who it is. Like that's the main character.
Well, like, I guess at least they finally gave that dude like his own game. I'd be sad though. I feel like it'd be a huge missed opportunity. I think they're gonna let you make your character. I think that's gonna be pretty interesting. Did we get back-to-back Ben Brody's? $5 from Ben Brody. Thank you. Saying, all year long, the grasshopper collected acorns for the winter while the octopus mooched off his girlfriend and watched TV. Is this some sort of Confucian knowledge that Ben Brody is imparting on us?
Perhaps.
And another $5 from Ben Brody, continuing the story. Saying, then the winter came, and the grasshopper died, and the octopus ate all of his
Finally.
acorn. And also, he got a race car. Is any of this getting through to you?
Oh. Is this the last boss?
Is it a giant machine with the
Yeah,
Joker in it?
it looks like the Predator almost.
I told you, right? It looks
Yeah.
like this game started like a Predator game. I'm convinced it did. I don't know if any of that got through to me, Ben Brody. I'll have to think about it. To be honest, the one thing that made me think was oh right, I might need to catch some bugs in Animal Crossing before the winter. I've only got 4 bugs left to catch in Animal Crossing. I can't believe it. I had no intent of actually completing the museum or anything.
But you're gonna do it. Well, I've got 95 hours in Dragon Quest 11. I don't know even why this is happening.
Well, I mean it's a long game, you know.
It is, but I'm doing a lot. Oh my god, it's a send me back.
You're doing more than you have to do.
Yeah, I think I am. I mean, I don't know.
Jeffo says, "Man, what a bunch of jokers." You know, I've tried to do. I
almost wrote that in the thumbnail for this stream.
Oh, really?
I almost wrote revenge of jokes.
Revenge of jokes. What a bunch of jokers. In Xenoblade on Switch, I tried to vary up my party a lot more than I did on the Wii. So I haven't had Rain in my party pretty much at all since Dunban joined.
I said Gaming Blows wondering how I listened to the music in Dragon Quest for as long as I have. That's a good question. I mean, I'm pretty sick of it, and it's funny because it's even the orchestrated stuff, which is supposed to be a big.
Well, I mean, it sounds better, yeah, but the compositions
they're pretty boring.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely insane to me that there's just one overworld theme. I mean, it changes.
Well, no, it changes in Act 3. I was surprised.
It's a tune from, I think it's from Dragon Quest 3.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's just a recycled tune.
Oh, well, it's
a lot better though.
I was like, thank God, because I mean, I'm not even paying attention half the time, with the music. I'm just like not listening at all. Period.
Yeah, I mean the music. There's so little variety in that game, and such heavy recycling of previous music from previous games on a scale that hasn't been done. Like I don't think it's really been that recycled in the past. I mean, now let's be honest. Sugiyama is. I mean, he's clearly past his prime at this point. Like it's the new compositions just are not that good. Like it doesn't matter if it's orchestrated; they're just not that good. But you know what's interesting? Dragon Quest X, like its music, I actually really like its music a lot more than 11's. Each continent in Dragon Quest X actually has different music, which is such a relief after like literally one overworld theme until you get like a reused theme late in the game for 11. But yeah, 10's music is much better. I saw there was $5 from Stephen Artman. Thank you. Saying in the future, do you see a retro-based company will invest on a new PVM and arcade quality CRT monitors to curb the growing demand? Candy cabs too. Will it be growing demand? I don't know. I mean, I don't think if there is going to be I don't think that there's much of a chance of actual CRTs being produced again unless someone figures out like a really cheap way to do it. You know, I think it's more likely that some easily manufactured display technology might come along that replicates the advantages of CRTs without actually being a CRT. I feel like that could be a possibility, but I don't know. It's so interesting.
Shoot, I mean, I feel like I'm getting close with him.
I don't remember him being that far.
Good. Yeah, at least I get to continue at him. Or not continue.
I guess as long as you have lives.
Yeah. No, this is like definitely like less difficult than the previous. Can you cheese it? I don't know if there's a way to cheese it.
I feel like I might have figured out a way to cheese it. Like, is there like I feel like there might be like a safe spot or something that I figured out.
I'll look.
That's like always such a good feeling. Like when you like are fighting a boss or going through a really hard part in the game and like all of a sudden you just realize that there's like one spot that's like pretty safe.
Yeah.
It's so good when you
for yourself. You cheesed the Genesis Batman, so I feel like it's kind of like our...
I didn't really cheese it. I just grinded a little for extra weapons. I mean, I don't think that Joker was very hard anyway. I just had a lot of weapons to use on him. I mean, that kind of reminds me of how when I beat Joe and Mac, I grinded for...
You can mash the wall and melt the guy. Mash the wall.
Mash the wall.
So you cheese it by crouching in the right side and rapidly shoot right. All right. Well, if I get when I get back to him, I'll try it. Just do I have to do it with charge shots or just straight up regular shots?
I don't know. Daniel Alexander, we do have a Discord. It's part of our Patreon and YouTube member system, though. It's a very good Discord, though. I enjoy chatting with the peoples.
Yeah, it's great. It's like definitely
It's a good community there.
Yes. Rapid as fast as possible. All right. Well, if I ever make it back to him, I'll try it.
Yeah, we both got 3D All-Stars. We're releasing a video on all of the official ways to play Super Mario 64.
Right.
Sometime this week. It's going to be pretty extensive. I feel like it's probably going to be like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It's going to be super long.
Yeah.
So it's going to be pretty.
My part's
pretty
only 9 minutes.
Huh?
My part's only like 9 minutes.
Really? Well, the 3D All-Stars part is only 9 minutes. In retrospect, I should have given you the ending. But, oh well.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's already voiced. There's no point in changing it. I didn't think that the 3D All-Stars segment was going to be as long as it is. The 3D All-Stars part's like 9.5 minutes, I think.
Really?
I do not have an IQ player, but I can boot up the IQ ROM with a 64 drive. So.
Okay.
Might just have to use the Wikipedia, the Evan Amos IQ photo. What do you think about the Dreamcast and PS2 Mario 64 ports? I have not played them, but I heard about the PS2 one. I didn't hear about the Dreamcast one. Oh, I saw a video of the PS2 one, and like the textures were like super screwed up, but like it looked like the game worked. Like it looked navigable. Oh, and that was a donation, by the way. $2 from For the Love of the Game. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was just reading that like it was a regular comment. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I am the resident 64 guy.
Yeah.
And Coury even has to admit in this video he's not the 64 guy. But he has to admit that because he realizes that because you play this on the Wii with a classic controller, your impression of how Mario was touchy may not be as valid as you thought.
Yeah, well, I mean, you didn't realize that was the case either until you actually...
I didn't realize how bad it was. Like, I knew that nothing felt nearly as good as the 64 controller because the analog stick just... Mario has more fine gradations in his movement than modern game characters.
Is this the gun that I want? Doesn't seem like the kind of gun I want for this.
I
think I may have chosen poorly.
And the way that is mapped to the Wii Classic controller and using a GameCube controller on the Wii is just it's insufficient. You are running full speed like halfway through the tilt. It's not good. And finally, the sensitivity on a Switch Pro controller is very good. Obviously, the Joy-Cons are rather limiting, but I do like using the Joy-Con for Galaxy. Because that kind of replicates the pointer control well. But the thing is, like, Sunshine and Galaxy, those games, like, walking slowly isn't really part of those games. Like, walking slowly... I
need the C-shot, okay.
Walking slowly is kind of part of how 64 is designed. Like, you need that ability. Sunshine Galaxy, you don't. So using Joy-Cons for Galaxy, I think, works fine. But 3D All-Stars with a Switch Pro controller is pretty good. The only thing I will say is that I miss the octagon gate. I overall prefer round controller gates these days. I used to prefer the octagon gate, but now I prefer round gates. But for Mario 64 in particular, it is nice to have that octagon gate because the way the camera is in certain levels, it's much easier to like go perfectly left or right.
Right, because you mentioned
so that's nice, but that's the only bad thing I'll say about using the Pro controller. It's very good. I did try to use the G-Bros to see if I could use a GameCube controller and see if like the octagon gate was good, but the sensitivity is so bad. Using the GameCube controller for it. And this is not a fault of the GameCube controller because the RAFnet adapter on N64 works pretty well. So it's just poorly implemented in previous Virtual Console versions and apparently poorly implemented by the G-Bros, at least the way this game works.
Okay, so they're saying I need to shoot into the wall.
The GameCube controller is miserable. It kind of is, I guess. I mean, I never realized how bad it was when the Wii first came out. Because I got 120 stars and I probably used the GameCube controller instead of the classic controller. And it's not great. I guess I'd say it's a little better than using a classic controller, but it's still not ideal. Because the sensitivity is just not well implemented on the VC version. But like in terms of button mapping, I feel it's good. And in terms of latency, it's also good.
Oh, I see. Here we go.
I feel like I did something.
Is that gonna be your last life?
I don't know for sure if I discovered it myself, but I feel like I did. Wonder if it's more of a problem people not understanding how I calibrate the GC controller well for the N64 controller port. Or controller input. I don't know. I mean, obviously RAFnet did a very good job, but I used to think that the GameCube controller was not as capable as the N64 analog stick. But I actually think it is, or at least it's very close. It can be a good substitute if implemented well. It's just that in the past, it is, at least in official implementations, it has not been implemented.
That does crush them, doesn't it?
Oh, wow. Wow, yeah, look at that.
Well.
That life meter is such an odd thing for NES. It doesn't look like an NES thing,
Yeah. There's the Batwing. It's like Batwing is in the ending and also like in between every other level, and that's it.
Yeah, no Batmobile levels like there's the Batmobile level and the Batwing level in see, like you weren't even in Gotham. Like this was totally not a Batman game.
I'm surprised that I finished it.
You beat it before 11.
Yeah, but I'm surprised.
I mean, I hear a lot of people say this game is hard, but it's not that bad.
That second to last boss was easily the hardest part.
A matter of time.
I mean that second to last boss was definitely the most time extent. I mean, it just took a long time. So what am I playing next?
I don't know.
Occasionally get little glitches on your screen there. I think it's just
I don't know if I need to jiggle a cable or if it's because I'm not using that.
So you see it there?
Webcam software.
I don't know. Because I'm not using webcam software. I never do.
Well, I'm using a pretty long USB cable for it.
Bust out a weird 32-bit game.
How easy would 32-bit be to switch to?
It'd be extremely easy. I just have to dig out a controller. I was thinking Journey to Silius. I could play that, but
you could play Blaster Master Blasting again. That'd be a good game to start on a stream sometime, though.
Yeah,
that's a good game.
Gaming is saying I should play Wild 9, which could be kind of fun.
What did my phone think? I thought I was talking to it.
Arc the Lad 1? Well, let me take a look.
Presented by Sunsoft. Good old Sunsoft. Oh, I don't think I mentioned it before. Did I forget to say that Daniel Alexander pledged $3? I thought about saying that multiple times, so I may have already said it. But then I forgot. We don't have PS1 digital yet, but we're going to have it very, very soon. They're being installed currently along with X stations, so I'm pretty excited about that. I decide that when I get mine, I'm going to make it a priority to play Lunar 1 and 2 pretty soon. Just tried ActRaiser for the first time. Pretty solid. You know that? I feel like a lot of people these days have kind of been like, you know what? ActRaiser actually doesn't hold up that much. But the thing is, I've always felt that ActRaiser's platforming segments are actually kind of fun for some reason. They're really, really basic. And there's not much to it. But something about them I just find to be fun. Oh yeah, I mean it's obvious that 3D All Stars. There's not much to it, but I mean, I imagine things like, I heard that Nintendo was did not really have the systems in place for switching to work from home. So I can imagine that budget, time constraints, other circumstances led to it not being a particularly robust package. I mean, the title screen is super sad. It plays like half of the Super Mario Galaxy Stargate theme, and it's just boom, silence on just a very unexciting looking title screen. So it is rushed, but like the versions of the games are pretty good. 64 is by far the best version of 64 that they've re-released. So,
I've always called it Lunar, but I've heard people say Lunar. One of the main characters in the second game says, "Oh no, Lunar," in the intro.
Oh, you say Lunar?
I've always said Lunar, but there's a lot of times where I will say Lunar.
You said Lunar.
I mean, I've gone back and forth. Like I said Lunar for the longest time, and then I switched to Lunar, and I just go back and forth. I like Lunar because that's the way I've always said it.
I mean, to me, like Lunar is an adjective, and I feel like an adjective is not really what you think of first and foremost as like the title of something. I mean, it can be, but I don't know. Something about like calling Lunar just sounds like the name of something.
I've never played this before, so
okay. We got $10 from Girthquake.
Oh, I like that. I like that name.
I was curious if either of you have played the two Bushido Blade games for PS1. I usually don't like fighting games. It's a bold take on the fine genre, is asking for a mini documentary. Thanks again. I have very briefly played Bushido Blade, and as a person who also does not like fighting games, generally, I like Soul Calibur for whatever reason, but otherwise, I really don't like fighting games very much. I mean, hearing you say that makes me want to try it a little more because, like, my first impression was like, oh, like, a lot of people always say like, oh, the person who gets the first hit, is going to win anyway. And I kind of like the idea that well, this just streamlines that, because you can just do a one hit kill. Oh, Rodark 1 is asking any good game stores near Charlotte. Lots, actually. Video Game World in Huntersville is my favorite. There's also a Video Game World location in Concord, I think. I haven't been to that one. But the one in Huntersville is the original. There's Save Point Video Games, kind of near the UNC Charlotte area. There's The Grid, which is a Goodwill operated game and like electronics and computer parts store. And you never know what you're going to find there. It can be quite interesting. Not necessarily like crazy prices or anything, but sometimes pretty good prices. It's an interesting store. There's also a number.
Their prices are insane. Remember
there
Crazy
are a
Eddie?
There are a number of stores called Gamers Alley. And I've not been to those as many times, but they can be pretty good sometimes. I mean, a game store is only as good as it is on the day that you visit it,
Yeah.
I mean, your impression of a store, you can be like, oh, this is a good store. But, I mean, I obviously, how well put together and managed the store is has an impact, but, what they have matters a lot too. But yeah, we have quite a few good stores actually. There's another one I haven't been to in
Crazy
a
Eddie.
couple
Give
of
people say Crazy Eddie. Coury, you aren't that old. I remember Crazy Eddie. Our prices are insane. I mean, I've got to be old enough for Crazy Eddie because I remember Crazy Eddie.
Isn't this game like a little expensive?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
It definitely wasn't when I got it.
I mean, it looks interesting, but like I'm not super into like the character design.
Yeah. It's kind of weird, but I could see myself being into it.
What was it that people always compared like I've heard people compare the main like action functionality in this game to something else, and I can't remember what it was.
It's kind of like a grappling hook or like a tether.
Yeah. Can't remember. I've heard it compared to another game, and I can't remember what it was. Video Game World in Concord is massive. I mean, the one in Huntersville is pretty massive too. They recently expanded into the shop next door, and they're going to they've got a bunch of arcade games that they're kind of working on refurbishing a bit, and apparently they're going to have an arcade and ice cream in there. Presumably when it's safe to have such an operation. So I guess now is the time to be working on it.
Yeah.
Compared to Bionic Commando, no, I feel like it was. I heard it likened to something else that was like.
It's got a lot of yelling and screaming in it, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at times there's
a fair amount. Are those Tommy Tallarico tunes? Are they doing much?
I can't really hear it that much.
I mean, I have not played a ton of games composed by Tommy Tallarico, but like,
well, my favorite is definitely the Terminator on Sega CD. It's funny because the music in Terminator like does not sound like it should be in. Maybe at first, the first couple levels, like the music fits really well for the future stuff, but the rest of it just does like not sound like it should be It's awesome, but should not be in a Terminator game.
Umihara Kawase? That could have been it. I feel like it was. I feel like I heard someone compare it to a newer game, though.
This?
Yeah. I don't know. I just can't think of what game it was.
Yeah, I mean, I
do love Umihara Kawase.
I mean, it's kind of neat. I don't know if I'm really playing it right. I'm guessing that I am. I don't know how else I'd play it, but...
Oh, For the Love of the Game works at the game store on Long Island. Was your game store at the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo?
Probably, I bet. Maybe that was the place that I bought a Game Ground from.
Maybe that place had like so many Genesis games. I mean, the convention as a whole did, but that place in particular just had like a case full of.
Speaking of Genesis, I'm getting close. I got Home Alone in the mail today, or not today. This past week, and I just seen Cyborg Justice and Chicky Chicky Boys now. I'm getting there.
How much is Cyborg Justice?
It's not expensive. I might have a copy of it at Arcade Legacy waiting for me.
Oh, nice. We got $20 from Super Guy 88. Thank you, Super Guy.
Super Guy
saying happy Sunday, guys. Have some money. That's that is a very straightforward and literal comment. Thank you so much.
Thank you. If Super Guy, if you feel like you're not really too into Wild 9, I can play something else.
I think Coury is saying I want to play something else.
No, not really. I mean, it's interesting. This is like kind of an interesting game. But
the 3D Mario collection video is coming along. Most of the materials are gathered, and it's in editing. So
yeah,
we're hoping, it should be sometime this week. Hopefully earlier in the week, but we'll just have to see.
How do I shoot missiles? Oh, I can shoot missiles.
And by the way, it's not about the 3D collection. It is a deep dive on 64.
Like the official releases of 64.
Right. I mean,
there's not a lot in there on the, like, I don't know if, did it even end up with having any of the PC stuff? I mean, it has a little bit of PC stuff, like mentions, right?
I mentioned the PC stuff, and I might use like a clip from it, but like I really don't want that to be a focus just because it's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want them to come after us.
And really, the best way to play series. We've done best way to play for Castlevania Rondo of Blood, and
it's always official versions,
and Phantasy Star original series, and it's all about the official versions. And I think a point that a lot of people miss is that like we're not like being stuck up goody two shoes, talking about the official versions. It's just more interesting for us to look at, I feel.
Yeah, and it's just more accessible, at least for us too.
But I mean, a lot more accessible, and
because it's not just about like
expertise.
It's also about like region differences and stuff like that too.
Right, and I feel like if you want to emulate it or play a different version, like that is totally fine. But I still think you can gain a lot of knowledge learning about the official versions, so that you know what to look for or what version you want to emulate or whatever. So I think you can get a lot of information out of it, even if you want to emulate. I saw the audio scroll up. There was $2 Canadian from a toonie, if you will, from Jeffrey Smith.
Thank you.
Saying, have you had any time to try the RetroTink 2X Mini? And yes, it's going to be in the Mario 64 video, because you know, I've said it many times. I feel like N64 is perhaps like the most practical use of RetroTinks, and the Mini just makes sense for someone who, you know, mostly just wants to use like the more accessible cables that you can get for a system, and it comes with an S video cable, which is actually a pretty decent S video cable. I haven't seen any issues with it. Uh, so yeah, I mean, you can out of the box play N64 and S video with the 2X Mini, and it looks great. It looks great. So you'll get to see firsthand what it looks like in this video, and I'm impressed with it. I mean, for the segment about playing on original hardware, I mean, it's so long anyway. It it focuses more on uh, unmodded consoles and playing on CRTs and with the RetroTink more so than the OSSC, since you know natively you can't even play an unmodified N64 on the OSSC. And you know the thing is, like, I feel like people who know about RGB mods and Ultra HDMI, like we've talked about that stuff so much that I spend some time on that, but less time. Although I bring up the Ultra or the N64 Advanced mod, which is a little bit more advanced N64 RGB mod.
But what's the cool thing about the Tink, the Tink Mini is like, I mean, it's like essentially for people that it's like a way better alternative than like the Super, what is it, the Super 64?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't mention the Super 64 in the video by name, but I imply that it makes a lot more sense to buy something like the RetroTink for a heck of a lot cheaper and get the same results and use it with a bunch of systems.
Yes.
The other thing I like about the 2X Mini is that it's kind of got these like sort of funtastic cases.
Yeah. Mine was
the one I got is kind of red.
Yeah, mine is just like normal. Is a normal clear kind.
It's kind of cool. I mean, it's very clear that he knows that N64 is like a big part of his market for it. So that's why it comes with a Nintendo S video cable. That's probably why it has the fantastic looking case. It's a very, very good choice for N64 people. Very, very good choice.
If Gaming Blows is still here,
I can see myself using the Mini going forward more than the other ones, just because it's so simple and straightforward to use, and I'm using component on other devices anyway.
Yeah. And you know what you should do? You know, if you have like somebody who is just a casual fan, has like old system like in their attic or something like that, like that's like a great present for someone like that.
Yeah.
It's like it's priced in such a way that it becomes just a great thing to buy as a present.
Yeah, that's a great point. Because it's something that's so accessible for like the more casual player who like loves this system, or they haven't played in a long time, you know, or they're just getting into it. Like and honestly, you know, I mean, the fact that it comes with an S video cable is a bonus, but as I've said many times before, the N64 composite is not that bad.
Right.
Like, as long as it's like either on a CRT or scaled halfway decently, like with a RetroTink, it's like kind of okay. I mean, I think like the fact that the N64's output is fairly blurry anyway, kind of makes it so you know, these guys remind me of those propeller soldiers in Final Fantasy VII.
You have no continues.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a super practical device. I mean, yeah, I know that I don't really need to use RetroTink that much because I've got, RGB and component for everything, but like I just love how practical they are, and I just love recommending them because they are such a practical device for people who like they know that plugging directly into their HDTV is not giving them a good experience. And they want to invest just a little into it, but they're not like ready to go super crazy. It's a very practical device. Yeah, unfortunately, they can't make more frame meisters because they ran out of one of the main scaler chips in it. So, you know, OSSC is where it's at now. Uh, the OSSC Pro, whatever that happens, and it will be more expensive than the regular OSSC. It supposedly should have some sort of motion adaptive deinterlacing. But I mean, that could be a while. I don't know. Well, Robert Carlson says which is analog DAC didn't replicate the Genesis composite. I mean, the thing is though, the Genesis composite is so uniquely bad that it's got like very passionate fans because it's so bad.
Look what it's doing.
It was used
stuff.
for dither blending, which I am not like. I prefer to play Genesis and RGB quality with no dither blending.
I don't know why it's doing that.
But
it's got to be a capture.
I feel like if the analog DAC didn't replicate that, people would be very upset. Yeah, that's super weird. Why is that happening? That looks to me like a digital issue on like the capture card side. Is it okay if you like hide the capture card and then re-enable it?
Hang on, I just spilled my big cup of water all over the floor. Oh, crap.
There was hang on, let me scroll up. There was $5 from Dr. Claw 77. Thank you. Saying definitely gain a 2X Mini specifically to gift to a friend. This message sponsored by Bell's Supermarkets. I don't know Bell's Supermarkets. Do you know Bell's Supermarkets? Oh, we're playing Japanese something. Yeah, Corey's just in the background doing Corey stuff, Whatever Corey does in his natural habitat. A menu option for authentic and tolerable composite modes. Well, maybe. We're gonna hold a meet and greet in Charlotte. I don't know. I guess it could be possible. I mean, we had little get-togethers like when we went to New York City, for example. So if like Corey was in town sometime and we actually had time, the problem is usually when Corey comes here or I go to Corey's, it's usually for like a specific reason and we're like really busy. But
hang on.
It could be possible.
Cup of water all over the floor.
What happened?
I spilled a gigantic cup of water all over the floor.
Oh, I didn't. Some people in the chat was talking about water, and I like completely missed that.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what was going on. I thought you were up trying to fix the
Luckily, it's just
the
water.
capture. Is it at risk of getting to any wires?
Well, I wanted to get it before it got close to anything, but no, I think if it wouldn't be able to reach anything. Everything's up higher. I did that as a safety precaution. Setting up in here. All right.
Oh, our TVO is in the chat and says, "Wow."
Oh, did I put this in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have the PS1 version because as I understand it, this is better than the Saturn version, which is surprising.
Ah.
But I'm sure there's people that could tell me if that's.
Have you streamed this before?
I probably played it here and there, but I put it in episodes before. All right.
This is originally an arcade game, right? It's
Yeah.
not a console original.
DonPachi.
Artemio says he's never seen seen it in the horizontal ports.
Probably because he has the arcade version.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need this. Okay, so there's 320 by 240, 240 by 240, Tate and Tate Yoko mode. I don't know what Yoko mode is. That like the other way?
Yoko is just normal horizontal, I think, right?
I don't know. I have no idea.
So you could tate it, but
I could, but I would have to turn my head sideways. I'm not gonna do the monitor. So, oh, did I do it? I accidentally did it. So I guess I gotta go back into the options. Does look pretty good though when it's like that. Fills the whole screen. Okay, so Yoko's side mode. Okay.
yeah, Wii Composite is not very good. Even on a CRT, Wii Composite's not great. But N64 Composite, surprisingly tolerable.
I mean, it probably helps. The anti-aliasing helps a lot with that. Like the softer image.
Omar Bomrad, Batman Return of the Joker is beaten.
Oh.
The Joker has been defeated again.
Indeed, I got him. It took me a little while, but I was able to do it. Less than 2 hours.
Yeah, just under.
I'm not especially good at this. I mean, that should go without saying.
Oh, we know. I'm not. I mean, I would be even worse at it.
I just like playing games like this. I just think they're really fun. I really like when you almost beat the bosses in this, and its life bar is getting really low. It's like just a few more hits. But I've never played any of the sequels though. I don't feel like they're a bit more. I don't know what it was the word I'm looking for. They're not as serious. Like this feels like more serious than maybe the sequels are. Or maybe I'm wrong. But was this Cave's first game? I did not get a PS5 pre-order. I was looking, and if I have the opportunity, then I will. But I'm not feeling very excited about it.
I mean,
and I think the whole situation with the pre-order is like even more annoying. Like if I have an opportunity to get a pre-order, like I guess I will do it. But I'm not even positive. Like even if I get that, if I would end up picking it up. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I totally get the. I mean, you know, I'm not really interested in the Spider-Man game because like I couldn't get that far into the PS4. I mean, that's coming to PS4 anyway, but I'm sure the PS5 version would be a lot better. But I couldn't get in. I mean, I should probably give it another chance, but I was just feeling bored by the PS4 Spider-Man game. But now Demon Souls looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really, really good.
It makes sense for you, but I mean, I haven't gotten.
Yeah, I know you kind of swore off those games after trying Bloodborne.
But I mean, I might make a return to it someday, but I don't think that Demon Souls is the one. Like, for me, that is not something that I want to buy a system for.
I will say that the wind was really taken out of my sails when I found out that Ratchet and Clank isn't even this year.
Yeah,
like
same here. I mean, that's like the thing that I want out of everything.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it'll be early next year, but I was pretty surprised. But yeah, I mean, I'll admit there's not a lot of reason to get one other than, you know, I'm an idiot. And
yeah. Well, I'm gonna see what the releases are like.
Compelled to get new game hardware. But
I'm not gonna lie, and I would love for like nothing that I really feel excited about to come out for the longest time until a slim version of the system comes out. I would be.
It is really huge, isn't it?
Yes, and that is perhaps more annoying to me than anything.
I mean, I don't mind the look of the system. I
don't mind the look, but I am annoyed by the size.
I mean, I can make the size work, but yeah, I mean, I'm at least glad that the consoles this generation don't look boring. I mean, I guess you could say that the Xbox looks kind of boring in a way, but it's so unusual at the same time that I kind of love what they're going for with the Series X. But
yeah, I just think my thing is something like I'm just like I don't feel excited about anything, and I feel like I just have too much other stuff to like think about and that I want to play still. You know, I mean,
yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it.
And I mean, price drop isn't even like a big deal. I would love just for a redesign of the system or a slim version. It's like half the size because it has to be pretty not far off. I mean, how long was it before the PS4 Slim came out after launch?
At least 2 years.
Did the Slim come out when the Pro came out?
No.
Did it?
Well,
I feel like
actually,
it did.
No. You might actually be kind of right. I think the Pro came out several months later, I want to say. But I think you might be right because they have like a similar design language or whatever, right? Actually, I really don't like how the PS4 Slim looks, to be honest. Like something about it just always looked weird to me.
I mean, it looks almost the same except for it doesn't have hard edges.
Well, it looks more like the Pro, but it just like it's weird to me. It's just so small that like for something about the way that the two layers and the curves with something that small, I don't know, something about it just doesn't work for me. I personally really like the design of the original Xbox One, but you've got that. I don't have it, but
you like the design of the original Xbox One?
Well, I like it because I like VCRs, but
yeah. Well, I mean, I can understand that, but I mean,
do I think it was a good design? No, but do I think it was a design that you know a old school nerd like me that that literally uses CRTs and VCRs as decorations in his house. Yes, I like the look of the original Xbox One.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. I don't know. Like it's just weird to me. If there's just something about these system launches, like after the way this year has been and everything, it just like feels like off. I mean, there's just something.
Yeah,
It does not
what
feel
you mean.
like it doesn't
But they
feel
can't
like.
back out now,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just there's something about it just feels like it just feels like off, like just not something that is supposed to be happening right now.
I mean, clearly they're not all that prepared for it either. I mean, especially in terms of the games. I mean, you know. But like, I think the Xbox Series X was way further along than the PS5. And like, I feel like there's going to be more to do with the Xbox Series X in terms of just, last gen enhancements for 360 games and Xbox original games. I just feel like it's going to be a more fun system to play around with than the PS4 will be, or PS5 will be. But at least the PS5 is launching with some generation exclusive games. I don't think the Xbox Series X has any generation exclusive games right now.
Yeah,
but I am looking forward to like.
That's such a weird cave logo. That first.
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking of like I want to pick like an Xbox 360 game to like play like really early on after I get the Series X. Like, I want to play around with that stuff, but it's going to be really weird though, especially for a while with the Series X. Like, how do you add those games to your backlogery? Because like you can play them on Xbox One for now. But like you're going to be playing them on Series X, and in some cases, those might actually be a native version of the game for Series X. So,
I'll do it on the system.
You add it to your backlog.
Probably the first system it becomes available for. There's a $5 donation from Dustin Kramer. Thank you.
Thank you.
What is your number one wildest dream never gonna happen game sequel? I still hold a tiny torch for Chrono Break. That's a great.
That's pretty hard to top.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to feel like Skies of Arcadia is gonna be on there. That would never happen.
Was there ever any talk about a sequel to that?
I think that they want to do it, but I'm not I have no idea. Like, I mean, I'd just be happy with the HD port of the original.
Mm-hmm. I'd play
with the GameCube content, but without the GameCube sound compression issues.
Yeah. I guess after Chrono Break, the next easiest never gonna happen sequel is Mega Man Legends 3.
Oh. What about something like Eternal Darkness 2? Or did they almost do an Eternal? They tried to do like a
Kickstarter spiritual successor. I mean, that would be cool, but I don't know if I have enough faith in Dennis Dyack these days.
No. I see some talk of Lunar 3 there, and I do agree with you on that. That actually like entered my mind.
Do you think? I mean, no spoilers because I haven't played them yet. But like, is there room in that world or those stories for?
No, and I mean
for a sequel, or does it feel pretty satisfying?
It feels pretty satisfying, and especially, I mean, when you play them, what it's cool is that it's like they're not like new worlds or anything like that. They are direct sequels. There are characters from the first game and the second game. And you never see that happen anymore. Especially, I mean, it just doesn't seem to happen very much, and it's very pleasant. And the way that it is done in Lunar 2 is really cool.
I saw someone said Mario RPG 2, which I mean that I would. It would warm my heart to see another Square produced Mario RPG. I know it would be different seeing it today than it would have been back then. It would have been much more magical, I think, happening back then. But you know, a lot of the people who left, who worked on Mario RPG, were the people that founded Alpha Dream. And I gotta be honest, I kind of don't like the Mario and Luigi RPGs that much. I like Paper Mario, or at least some of the Paper Mario games. But I kind of like, I played the first 3 Mario and Luigi games, and then I was just like, you know, I don't really like these. Why am I still playing these?
Yeah. I haven't played any of them. I played Mario RPG, Paper Mario
why
1
I
and
don't
2.
like them. I feel like I should. Like, I mean, the writing in them is fun, but like, I just didn't really enjoy the gameplay that much. The third, you know, in some ways, I feel like what killed it for me was
just, like, load in the credits.
The third one was Bowser's Inside Story, and like, people really loved it.
Really? I thought it was like way too. I heard people say it was way too long.
Maybe, but it was like, the thing is, it was a huge improvement over Partners in Time, which was the second game. It was a huge improvement over it, but like, I think the fact that it was a huge improvement, but I still didn't love it, was what, like, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just check out of this series.
There's another $2 from Dustin Kramer. Thank you. Saying a favorite movie tie-in of all time. Dustin does an excellent show on his channel, and he just recently is about movies and games, from camera to console, and he just did an episode on Where the Wild Things Are, which was really cool. Like, surprisingly, the DS version is by Way Forward, and it's really cool.
Huh.
And that got me thinking about how Way Forward's version of Thor for the DS is really, really good, and well worth checking out.
I mean, this is such a lazy answer, but I mean, GoldenEye is definitely the movie tie-in that has had the most impact on me. That's a pretty lazy answer, though. There's got to be something else I can think of. But I also saw there was $1.99 from Stu Blazinski, saying you forgot the most important PS5 game, Bug Snacks. I have no idea what to make of that. It certainly has some degree of charm, though, I will admit. You know, one PS5 launch game that I would like to play eventually is the Sackboy game. Like, I love the idea of just like Sackboy and just a platformer, you know?
Yeah, without like
without all the creation stuff.
Yeah.
It looks like a fun little 3D co-op platformer. But the thing that worries me is, am I going to have to buy like a bunch of $70 controllers to play it multiplayer.
Wait, are the controllers $70?
Controllers are $70. I mean, Switch controllers are $70. I'm not sure about Switch Pro controllers, but like a new set of Joy-Cons are $70.
That's true. And I
Which,
guess
I mean,
I guess that explains why I've not bought another set of Joy-Cons. I've been tempted at times, but I have not. I still have my original launch ones.
I got a set when they were somewhat on sale.
And I also wish that they just like sold ones that were not that weren't two separate colors. That's one thing I'm annoyed about. Like I just
None of the color combos are very good in my opinion.
No, and I mean it would be nice if they just had where you could buy two that were the same color.
Yeah,
they weren't black.
I almost got
or
like
gray,
some green ones, and I wish I had held out for it because they were. I think they were on sale, but then they weren't available, and I ended up just settling for the neon red and blue, whatever that other default launch one was. Like, it's okay, but I don't love it. I wish I'd waited and just got the green ones. I think it was just green and green. I don't think it was.
They had green and green, but it was Best Buy exclusive, and they don't make it anymore.
Oh yeah, okay. Because I remember looking. There was like a sale last year, and I went to Best Buy, and they didn't have it. Or maybe I almost bought it, but I was like, man, I'm spending a lot of money. I shouldn't get that. But I eventually ended up getting the neon pink and blue or whatever the heck they are. They're okay, but yeah, the one that I actually kind of liked the best of any, and I mean, I didn't like super love it, but I thought it was okay, was the Eevee colored ones.
Oh, I don't. What were they like?
I think they were just kind of like brownish and yellowish, which might sound kind of dumb, but I like brown because it reminds me of wood paneling.
There's
what?
Well, hang on, you got it. I know, I see him, but there's Daniel Alexander had 2 donations.
Oh, I see. I missed that. Saying I have a previous super chat that didn't get a response, so I'm sorry. Also, do you guys ever stream Neo Geo AES stuff? Thanks. Neither of us has an AES, but we both have consoleized MVSs.
Yeah. See what
and we have streamed them before. What was the previous one? Did you catch that? I'm sorry about
that. I saw it. I feel like it was maybe a $10 one. I can go to the Streamlabs. Hang on. Almost there. I really apologize, Daniel Alexander. I'm going to get it right now. Okay, so I mean Daniel Alexander donated $10 a half hour ago, saying, thanks for making such high quality videos. The RGB Masterclass persuaded me to buy a FrameMeister. Looking forward to the upcoming studio update tour. You guys should stream Cybernator sometime. I was just thinking about streaming that when I was in the car on the way back from driving back from Florida. Maybe that's what I'll do.
Have you never streamed Cybernator?
No.
Yeah,
not as the main event.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Love me some Cybernator.
All right. Then, whew, we got $100 from Zoom Dust. Dang.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Asking, saying thanks, guys. Favorite JRPG and why?
Well, thank you. Favorite JRPG, gosh.
I mean, mine's definitely going to be...
That is a very complicated answer.
It is, for sure. I mean, the one that, obviously, I mean, I've made videos and talked about it a ton. I mean, the original Phantasy Star had a huge impact on me. But I mean, Skies of Arcadia is way up there, and
that's a good pick.
Lunar is way up there. The first one, although I really do like the second one, but I do prefer the Sega CD version of Lunar 1 versus the PS1 version, and I think that's just because I played that first. I really like the music a lot more on the Sega CD version as well. And that's a game that it's the first game I remember. A lot of people will knock on the translation now, just because it was. I mean, it's got Bill Clinton jokes in it and stuff. And I mean, but at the time, I had never played a game, at least a console RPG, that was written in such a way that the characters felt like real people. Like I cared about them as characters and as like, like I cared about their personalities more so than any other RPG I had played. And I mean, that's just why I love it. I love that translation so much.
I mean, Chrono Cross would definitely be up there, or not Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger. I mean, I like Chrono Cross.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger. The thing I like about Chrono Trigger is that it has like zero fat in the game.
It's so well paced.
Yeah.
It's a very simple game. I mean, there's not like a whole lot of depth to the gameplay, I guess, but it's just like a JRPG at its very best. And stuff like Dragon Quest VIII. I mean, that's what I love about the Dragon Quest series. It's just a pure JRPG goodness done really, really well. It doesn't have to pretend to be anything crazy. But I'm also a big fan of Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy VII. Kind of some basic answers, I guess there, but I mean, there's a lot of RPGs I really like. I mean, Persona 3, 4, and 5, freaking love those. I love RPGs. I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately, but like,
I gotta say
I just feel like I could go for playing an RPG anytime, whether I have time for it or not. Like, I'm just like, I didn't used to always be in the mood for an RPG, but now, like,
if there is one PS1 RPG that like just I could probably talk about for hours and hours and hours without stopping, that has just enraptured me the entire time I played it, and I feel that it might be maybe one of the top 3 best games on the system. It's I can't even do it. I can't. Is Shadow Madness? Not really.
Shadow Madness.
I'm not being serious, by the way. It's got this dude on the cover. I've never played it. My brother gave me this.
Says I used to only play JRPGs. Now I've become more open-minded. Maybe since I've played them all I feel like. I mean, a lot of people were really captivated by RPGs early on, and I was not. Like, I kind of had a I watched friends play them. I just thought they looked so boring. I thought the stories and music were cool, but I was just really bored by the how the gameplay looked.
I don't know why that's happening.
I played Mario RPG. I played Pokemon. Still didn't think like more.
That's so weird that is happening.
And then I tried Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VII. And I was like, okay, I'm into this. And yeah, but now I'm about to finish a replay of Xenoblade on the Switch. We also got $10 from Craig Wan. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm saying, hey, my dudes, how do you feel about Retrobit releasing the Toaplan Shooters collection? I'm planning to get Zero Wing and Heckfire,
Oh
as you
yeah.
call it, since I never owned it. I'm stoked.
I was really excited about them until I realized that I already have 3 out of the 4 games. I might get Zero Wing just because it's Zero Wing, but everyone should, like, the box set. It seems really, really cool. We're gonna see what this is all about.
I'm not planning to get it just because I'm not really a shooters guy, but obviously I know that those games have quite a following.
And we're gonna check out Shadow Madness.
Is this a JRPG or a Western RPG?
I think it's a Western RPG.
I feel like I bet it's a JRPG that's trying to pretend it's not.
I don't know. You look at these,
because this menu is not looking very, very.
Well, hopefully it's. I mean, it's 3 discs, so there's got to be an opening FMV, so we'll be able to get a better idea. Oh my!
I'll look up Shadow Madness.
Well, I'm looking at this now. I'm like, hey, I could get into this.
This was developed by Crave. This was published by Crave and developed by Graveyard Studios.
Oh. Like, I mean, you see, look at these Final Fantasy VII-esque characters. Look at those necks, though, on it.
I guess it probably is Western developed, though.
Yeah. Let's find out what this young man's name is.
It looks interesting. She's getting right up at the TV.
Bartender named Duffy. Growing up, my neighbors had a dog named Duffy.
These character portraits, it's weird because this young man character portrait looks like a totally different art style than Duffy.
Yeah. Well, look at
Duffy looks like a screenshot from an early 2000s webcomic.
Yeah, or yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good way to put it, I guess. Maybe
young man doesn't. He just looks like young man looks like someone that would be in an early 2000s video game manual.
So when the dung hit the fan, we got a $5 donation from Quibquatch.
Thank you.
Saying, when is a Dreamcast episode going to happen? Hope soon. Also, what is your favorite Castlevania game?
We kind of promised the Dreamcast episode would happen this year, but then 2020 hasn't exactly been a year that anyone would have expected that it would be the way it was.
Look at this, going straight for Final Fantasy VII here with this pullback. I hope it says it's gonna flash it on the screen. It's gonna say Shadow Madness. There it is. There it is.
But yeah, I kind of don't think it's going to be this year, but I feel pretty confident it could be next year.
Yes. Oh, it'd definitely be next year. It's just, yeah.
But as far as favorite Castlevania game, that is a very tough question. It's not my favorite, but I kind of, when people ask what's a good non-Metroidvania, what's a good classic Vania to get into the series with, I always recommend Castlevania 4.
Yeah, that's a good starting one.
I mean, it's still a very hard game, but I feel like it's a little easier than some of them. And the controls might be a little easier for some people to get into, even though they are still somewhat difficult. My favorite,
I'd say I mean
Rondo would be in the running, but I still think I kind of tend more toward Castlevania 1 and 3.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I finally get around to playing my Japanese version of 3, I feel like it will be my favorite, because I feel like the only thing that holds 3 back for me is that it's just punishingly difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Just really cruelly difficult by the end of the game.
Yeah,
But
I
I
mean,
love Castlevania.
I love the original. I mean, that's outside of. I mean, that's probably the one I played through. I played the most.
Yeah. I mean, and I love the Metroidvanias too, but I feel like
Look at this. Like, I'm not. Where's the where's the HD version of this?
but I feel like as the years have gone on, like I feel less compelled to go back to the Metroidvanias and more compelled to go back to the classic Vanias.
Ooh, even the enemy death looks like Final Fantasy VII.
I know, Sandy. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
There was also a $5 donation from Whiskey Vengeance. Any chance we'll get a Wii or Xbox episode this year? Thanks for the great content.
I think the chances of those episodes happening this year are very, 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 very slim. But once Analog Frontiers is finished, I think you're going to see some of the remaining 200 series episodes
Ooh, his name is Stinger.
Start to happen.
The main character's name is Stinger. But I don't even understand. Like, look at the. I mean, this portrait looks like it was drawn by like a sixth grader kind of. I'm having a hard time with it. This is Coury portrait. I'm surprised. Someone said this is like Final Fantasy VII made by summer interns.
Oh my gosh, that portrait, yeah. Like, why does the main character look so different?
I don't know.
No, Sandy is definitely, she would be a big chihuahua. What's wrong?
Can I hold on a button to run? Oh, it's R1. This is Smoke Monster. This is Shadow Madness. It's it's easily the best game on the PS1.
How did you end up with it?
It's my brother's. He gave it to me.
Oh.
Luke had a donation of $5 or $5 New Zealand dollars, saying, "Hey guys, do either of you use projectors to play? Curious on your thoughts of projectors versus traditional displays." That is something that wants to get into, and he's been messing around with projectors for a little while now. I see Vanessa is in the chat, and she is pretty knowledgeable about projectors. It's a $5 donation from Matt Smith saying, best way to play Skies of Arcadia, 480p Force with Switch on GameCube or VGA out on Dreamcast, both running through the OSSC. Well, I want to say that DC HDMI with the Dreamcast might be my big problem with the GameCube version, and it's been a long time since I've gone back to it to check. But I remember the first time I played it, like when it came out, I was immediately annoyed because the sound is really compressed sounding. The music is. And that's because they got it down to one disc, I think. And that I feel to today that feels like a deal breaker for me. So I'd rather play the Dreamcast version. Did I die? Is that game over? Yeah, you have died. Look at that game over screen. The fate of our person Wildern will have to rest in the hands of some other hero. You obviously couldn't do the job. Why you just make me feel bad about it? Why don't you? Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I've done a direct comparison, but I just remember when it came out, I was immediately had no desire to continue playing through it.
What was it?
Skies of Arcadia.
Oh, the GameCube version?
Yeah, Matt Smith was wondering what the best way to play Skies of Arcadia is, either 40p Force with Swiss on GameCube or VGA out on Dreamcast, both running through the OSSC. And I said the Dreamcast because at least if you could do DC HDMI with the Dreamcast, I think it's worth it. And it's also just like the sound is really compressed on the GameCube version. I mean,
my understanding is that the Dreamcast version has way more random encounters. If that's the kind of thing that bothers you, I want to replay. I want to replay the game on Dreamcast. I played it on GameCube because I didn't have a Dreamcast. I would like to replay it on Dreamcast because I don't think the random encounter rate would probably bother me that much, but. You know what's a pre-rendered background PS1 RPG that I really need to get around to playing eventually is Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah, I wonder how. I mean, there's a lot of love for it out there, but I remember when it came out, people were saying that it wasn't very good.
Right, it didn't get very good reviews, but like nowadays people really only bring it up when they want to speak of it with love. I mean, I kind of a regret that I have is like how much I paid attention back in those days to like, IGN reviews or whatever, Like I feel like the most infamous one was God Hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would have discovered a lot more games if I had the point of view that I have now and have had for a very long time, where I really don't care that much about reviews. Like I'm good at getting a sense of if a game is for me and if I would be interested in. I'd rather discover for myself if I like it or not. And I rely more on like word of mouth from people, in terms of discovering games that are maybe a little more under the radar. Or oftentimes I'll see that some indie game is going to get a limited release. I'll look up the trailer. I'll be like, oh, that looks cool, and I'll buy it. I don't really care that much about what other people are saying about it. I'd rather find out for myself. Huh?
I'm just like trying to make out what is going on in this game. It's like in these FMVs.
I didn't even know you were playing.
No, I died, and now I'm just watching these. It's just like showing random like cutscenes, and I'm trying to figure out. Like it looks atrocious. This game.
We got $5 from Adam Magdaleno. Thank you. Saying, what game do you think should get remastered? I think Assassin's Creed Unity was a good game, but it's a glitchy, laggy mess. Yeah, I mean, I kind of checked out on Assassin's Creed after the fourth one.
Yeah, same here, really.
I felt like they had this story that looked like it was going to go somewhere really interesting with the Nolan North character in the first three games. Or I say first three games, but like the first 5 games. Like at the end of 3, like it didn't end in a satisfying conclusion, I felt like. And then like 4 was a much better game than 3. But like I kind of was like, I was just kind of losing interest in like the open world formulas at that point. And so I was just kind of like, this is fine and all, but like, I don't know if it's going to get much better than this. In terms of a game that I think should be remastered, I mean, super obvious one is like Mass Effect. I'm surprised we don't have that yet. I mean, it'll happen, but I'm just surprised we don't have it. Let's see what else. Let's see. Anything else? There's got to be something else. I mean, PS2 is still ripe for that. I mean, stuff like I don't know. I remember there was a guy internally at Namco who was like really pushing for like Xenosaga remasters. I mean, he said like, "Oh, let them know how much you want to make it because I want to make it." I'd have liked to have seen them make it. What is up with your capture card?
I don't know why it's doing that. I'm trying to figure it out.
Card? Does it look fine on your PVM?
Yeah, but see, I can. It's like a setting in here, but if I tried to set it to the default, it like makes it so it's only 30 FPS. I don't know why. If you're ever looking for anything to do, if you need to, like, you just want to play a game for a little while, there's no better answer than to just play some driver survival. It does not get better than that.
Does not get better than that.
But that's wild. Like, I can't make it work right. It just forces it to 30.
Your output is pushed. It's
because it's 480i right now, but it is, yes, it's invading. It'll get better.
It's invading the webcams.
Yeah. Right. It should be better once it goes.
I don't know why you're having trouble all of a sudden. I mean, it's the same capture card you always use.
Yeah, but I've been trying. If you notice, things have been showing up as 30 FPS. I've talked about it a little bit, where it's like, why is this playing in 30 frames? But it's with driver, it doesn't matter. It doesn't get better than this.
Does not get better.
Yeah, this game, I've talked about it at length. I think I streamed it for like half a stream one time. It's just like so glitchy, and that's what's so funny. Because the cops are just so relentless that they don't care about anything. They just want to. They would die to
wreck you.
Yeah,
at the cost of everything else.
Yes.
I remember a friend of mine got this game the day it came out. He was hyped for it.
I've never actually even played the main game. I've only played survival mode.
Oh, he was so excited about like the movie maker mode.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's actually pretty cool the way that the video editor works.
I don't remember that much about it. I mean, I honestly don't remember him playing the game that much, but I very specifically remember him getting it the day it came out.
It's just funny because the cops, they can't drive straight, so they are like flying through the air all the time. And sometimes it'll glitch out and they go flying way up in the air. I mean, it's basically impossible.
Even says the main game is awesome.
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't really care. I just want to play this. I've played a lot of driver. I had a demo disc that just had survival mode on it, and that's why I bought it.
Is the survival mode any at all reduced in features?
Well,
on
there's like other levels. I've only played the San Francisco level.
That's all you've ever done.
Yes.
This game ever.
Yes.
Like, do you feel like you have to like make it a mission in life to like continue to occasionally play this game, but absolutely never? Like, you've made it this far. Like, do you feel like you would be like betraying your principles?
Yes, kind of.
If you ever did anything other than play this one level in this one mode?
Yeah, I just really wanted it to glitch up so everyone can see how funny it is. I mean, I would just... Oh, I don't want to do that.
Have you ever played another driver game?
No. I do have the third one, though.
I have a driver San Francisco.
Which is that the one that's supposed to be pretty good?
Yeah, I never really hear anyone talk about that game, but our friend Drum really likes that game.
I wonder if that has a survival mode in it.
Maybe it's got like, I mean, like it's got like some sort of like story mode. Like, my understanding is that like you are like a guy in a coma in the hospital, and you like can like project your mind into like random people. So like you just like can take over.
That sounds a heck of a long way from this.
Yeah, I think it's something like that, like where you, and so that's how you like can just like take over random cars in the game world. We got John Perry G again with $5. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying, Try, did you say when it comes to the Wii component cables, HD Retrovision don't improve on quality versus factory Wii composite on a CRT? No. The HD Retrovision component will make a big difference over composite.
See, there we go. Oh, that was good.
I'll have to wait for it. The HD Retrovision cables don't make a big difference against other component cables, but against composite, a huge difference. In my experience, I'm sure there are some bad.
Okay, here we go. Now you gotta watch it, okay?
Okay, I saw you land on your side after some pretty good flips. Oh, I saw the cop cars just like fly off your sideways car. Do you need me to throw this turtle, Sandy? But I'm sure there are some really bad Wii component cables out there, but my experience in generic Wii component cables has been they're pretty decent. But composite on the Wii is not great. So yeah, I mean, HD Retrovision on a CRT, but on a CRT, other component cables will make a big difference versus HD Retrovision. It's just that HD Retrovision is another new choice that's very well engineered. Based on what Steve told me, he said it's not really going to make technically they're better engineered than like the Nintendo ones or the Monster ones, but you're not really going to see a difference at 480p or less. But on a Wii U, if you, for whatever reason, you were using component cables for like 720p or 1080p on a Wii U instead of HDMI for whatever reason, you you suppose Steve says you would see a difference in that case. But it's just, you you're buying very, very good component cables with the HD Retrovisions, but it's not going to be a huge difference or really any obvious perceptible difference with a regular Wii on a CRT or through the OSSC. But against composite, any component cable would improve. The one thing is, like, I've seen some really, really, really bad cheap Xbox component cables and some not amazing PS2 component cables. But my experience so far, I haven't run across any Wii component cables that I thought were bad. But they've got to exist. There's got to be some really bad ones. What is it? Do you need to chase a moose? Are you going to save this to your memory card?
Maybe.
Are you still there?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm
just looking at the stream and I'm seeing you like smiling and laughing, but like you're so entranced by what you're doing right now.
Oh, you can't.
Go get it.
Okay, can
I wonder how much memory card space it takes to save something like this.
Hang on, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna watch it again. See how this goes.
What is it? I've thrown about all the toys in Reach. You got to bring them back.
Oh, isn't that? Oh, am I? I thought I had it, but maybe.
Oh, you're not playing the edited version.
I thought it was. Maybe it wasn't edited at the time.
Do you just go to OK?
Let me see if that did it here. Let me go back to that. Rewind to the beginning. We'll just do it right. That worked really well. Let's see how this looks right here. just watch.
I'm watching. It's about to start.
It's not really anything happening. I must not have done it right, but it's just funny if you just watch and it's so stupid. Like I must have did it. I obviously did it wrong, but it's actually pretty funny what happens.
Oh yeah, there's like a camera point at nothing.
Just wait. It's so stupid, but see, so now you start to realize. Do I gotta add? Okay.
I know Sandy thinks it's fun too. I know. Look at that car.
Okay. I think I'm getting it now.
No, there's a new camera angle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, for the time, this was such a great feature for this game.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like you might sort of get it?
Oh, I mean, I definitely get it.
I had an early one where it was 1999 and it was I set it to Duel of the Fates. Okay.
Gaming Blues asks, why do we have 0 game audio all night?
Well, there's no right.
Coury was trying to.
No, there should have been game audio at some point.
I know, but that's what I say. That's what happens every single time. Is you think you've got game audio, but it's not loud enough for people on the stream to hear. And that's why you were trying to mix it in OBS tonight, but that wasn't working. So it must just be really low. That happens all the time when you're using a mixer. I don't know why, but when you hear it in your ears, it's still not loud enough for the stream, and I don't understand why. So that's one of the reasons I switched to OBS audio mixing.
See,
but Coury tried that tonight, and that's why we were kind of hung up at the beginning of the stream because it wasn't working.
I hope that this has convinced somebody to buy this game who never would have thought they would have bought it. I mean, it's a cheap game. It's like greatest.
It is a very cheap game. I mean, I could see myself getting it sometime. I feel like it'll be bad for the backlog though, because someone earlier in here was saying it's the single player is very difficult, and I'm bad at I shouldn't say realistic driving games because that is not what this is, but I'm not very good at car driving games. I need to put more time into Ridge Racer because I kind of like Ridge Racer. You need me to throw that again soon.
Okay.
I wish you would bring it to me rather than bringing it just close to me.
All right, so are we ready?
Are we ready? Or are we convinced we've got something here?
Yes, I'm convinced that I got something.
All right.
Here we go.
You need to save this.
Oh yeah.
To a memory card so you can put it in a video sometime.
I just showed that other clip. I gotta edit that, I guess.
You have to use every piece of it?
Yeah, just there's
What does the yellow segment mean?
It just means that there's edits there, I think. It color codes when there's like a. See if I can. Let's see, I think I can.
The physics are so good. And by good, I mean great. Did the Burnout games ever have a feature like this?
I don't think so.
I should buy a Burnout game. I had Burnout 2 on the GameCube back in the day. I liked it. Sometimes if you don't make a sound effect, she doesn't go after it. You have to put your heart into it.
This is my favorite part right here. Is that? Oh, they're just flying off into the sky. Did you see it before or no?
Well, I mean, I'm so lagged behind.
Okay, so check it out. There's just like this one shot of just like of the cars just flying off into the sky.
The way they launch off your sideways car is so perfect.
Then the last shot is just the car slowly sliding down the street, and then it hits this sign, and it like knocks it down. I'm gonna save that.
Yeah. Oh man, I know it's funny, Sandy.
I'll do it. I'll put today's date on it too.
It's fun, Sandy.
9/21.
Ready? Sandy, ready?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that I like the most about this. I mean, this is the reason I own the game, and I didn't even buy.
You say this is the thing you like best about it, but you don't know anything else about it.
And I don't even care to. This is all I need to know.
So is this only using one memory card block?
It uses 2, it looks like, per replay. All right. Well, what a night.
Do it?
I think that's gonna do it. I see that the Zoom Dust still has a little bit of time on it. It doesn't tell me how much time they have left. I'm not sure if I can. Hopefully Zoom Dust is okay.
The way it's color code, I can't even see the line really.
Oh, we did get a 5 New Zealand dollars from Adam Langdon Burnell saying completely amazing. Are you talking about this replay?
What else could he be talking about? Thank you. Woof, woof.
ABO Hiccups, there's going to be an episode out this week about the best way to play Mario 64. When's the 24-hour stream? I don't know. When is Extra Life?
I don't know. This feels like a year that we don't really have that kind of time, though.
That's true.
Chris Hannigan, Corey beat Return of the Joker about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah. And then just been screwing around with this. But Chris Hannigan, if you want to watch this, you want to watch this instant replay, I'll put it on for you.
It's good.
Just this as a way to
give you
give you some entertainment.
Parting $2 from Vanessaria saying, Thanks for a great stream as always. Thank you. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
There we did a 24-hour the what is it called? Extra Life marathon.
Yeah, that must have been 3 years ago though now.
It was a good while ago. I regret it, my game choice for it.
But we did. It was a lot of fun. Oh, it's November 7th. Well, maybe if someone else does it, maybe I'll jump on their stream for a little bit.
I could see getting back to it next year, maybe.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in this week. And thanks to everybody who donated and everybody hung out. It was a lot of fun, and we will.
And everyone go watch that Final Fantasy 16 video I did with Game Dave.
Yes.
I'll drop the link in the chat again.
Sounds good.
Give good old Game Dave some subs, please.
Anyways, we will see you soon. Take care, everybody.
Later.